All right. We live. We live in here. If you're just coming in, welcome, 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 welcome. Pretty sure we're live. Let me double check. Yeah, we're live. We're live. We got a couple things planned tonight. We got some time. A little bit of time. Nothing too crazy. We'll see. We'll see. The original TREX mug. All right. Everything's good. Everything's good. Everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. Rec, what's up? Yo, 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 yo. So we're gonna be going over the grand finals. First and foremost, we're gonna go over drafts. Because we're gonna be having Midnight actually join us, and we're gonna kind of pick his brain on the drafts and see where his head was at and everything, and kind of, you know, maybe give my opinion and then him say whether I'm completely off or maybe slightly on. That's kind of the goal, I think. C9 Midnight. Logic, what's up? Rec, what's up? Sclera, how's it going? We're gonna have a quick cup of coffee. How's life been treating me? Life has been pretty good. Give me 1 second, guys. I had to grab something. All right. Yow, 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 yow. Can we hear a BTR is definitely going to MSC? Why, do you want me to curse them, bro? I don't want to say anything because I want them to go. So I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything. Oh, Bomba took Sylvana Jungle and they're talking smack about us? Is that live right now, bro? Bomba's team took Sylvana Jungle and they're talking trash to us? What did I spend wrong? What's my title, bro? My titles are always wrong. Analysis? What did I spell wrong? What did I spell wrong, bro? One said I'm milking. Grandma's Fur Burger? Bro, I literally casted grand finals. I think I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to milk that shit, bro. Hell yeah, I'm gonna milk that shit. I casted it. I worked hard for that grand finals. I was there. The hell? You saying I can't talk about it? Hell yeah, I'm gonna milk that shit. Where's the others at? Squeeze every last goddamn drop out of it. At least I'm gonna bring a nice spin to it. I'm bringing Midnight in with me. And me and Midnight are gonna talk about drafts. People wanted me to do an analysis on it. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm sending a message back to somebody. I had an important message I just want. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Don't have enough knowledge about the game. Damn. Damn, that hurts, bro. You're right. Don't, bro. Bro, I always have haters. What do you mean, bro? Listen, man. In the great word of what's his name? Hold on, hold on, hold on. What's his name? In the great words of Flava Flav, if you ain't got haters, you ain't doing it right. In the great words of Mr. Flava Flav, if you ain't got haters, you ain't doing it right, man. Guys, listen, no matter what, I never win, bro. When I vote for BTK, everyone says I'm a BTK simp. When I vote for GG, I'm a traitor. You know what I'm saying? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. When I freaking majority of your subs are BTK fans, buddy. I know. Oh, I know. Cheers. That's because that's the thing. You just have to understand. You just had to make the right choice, which would have been what, voting for BTK? Guys, you have to remember, as a caster, yeah, but so all right. So here's my question. Here's my question. To all my BTK fans out there, is it okay if me as a caster, if I'm biased to BTK while I'm casting, while I'm voting, while I'm casting, is that okay? Is that all right? All right to be biased towards BTK? Okay. So then why is it bad that I voted for GG? Listen, you should have been able to hear it in my voice. You should have been able to, like, The TREX. so definitely okay. But the TREX we loved was the one backing BTK. Was the one bias for VT. But you gotta know, bro. Come on. Lost child. Look me in the eye. Look me in the eye. Look me in the eye. Tell and do you really believe I'm not a BTK fan anymore just because I voted for GG? Do you think that I wasn't talking to BTK before the games telling them good luck? Do you think that I wasn't telling, do you think I wasn't excited when they were winning? Do you think after game 6 I didn't look Weezy in the eyes and go, it's a wrap? Wrap. What you think? I'm sorry that if you truly feel like I betrayed you, I'm sorry. It was not meant in that way at all. It was honest. So there was 2 main reasons. I've already explained this, and I'll explain it again. There's 2 main reasons for the vote. One reason to get people off my back about the because it did feel 50-50. So it was just like, all right, we'll just vote for GG this time because I always vote for BTK, like always, and I have no problem. I've told you guys, like, I have no problem. Like I'm a BTK fan. So like it's known that sometimes when I vote for BTK, it might be slightly biased. When I'm casting, I don't think I ever show any bias, but sometimes when I vote for BTK, yeah, there's some slight bias in there. And I also know that I thought that the people would know that just because I voted for GG doesn't make me a traitor, but obviously you guys questioned me all along. And secondly, the major point is this, is that I was a little upset with the way they handled the whole Nicolette thing, so it was kind of like nah, man. I gotta, you guys, I'm a little upset with you guys, you know? I was a little upset with them. That's all. I was a little upset with them. And I told them that to their faces. Not like, one thing would be this. One thing, a snake would be me being like, oh yeah, like just not voting for them, and not like I talked to BTK and I explained to, like, I told Mobazane how I felt about the whole situation. It's like, nah, bro, I'm kind of upset with you guys. I'm not upset with you, bro. It's just saying it's not the same as it was. Damn, bro. Hopefully I can earn back your trust. When did I say that GG was going to win if they win the 5th game? I did not say that. Those words never came out of my mouth. I said that if BTK wins game 6, they've probably got game 7. I said that if BTK wins game 6, they most likely have game 7 because they're the only team that's almost won on the red side. And it is. And also, yes, I did say it's tough. It's tough. Game 5. I would never call it a game 5, bro. No, I've been saying that. I said that if any team wins on the red side, it's a win. That was my thing through the whole thing. If any team wins on the red side, they were pretty much good. Then once it got to game 6, it was like, for me, once BTK won game 6, said if GG win the 5th game and get the match points over, I never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth. Never, bro. Never. Maybe something you could maybe something you could think. So I did say that once a team gets match point, that mentality is going to be tough to beat. Those thoughts I did put out there. I was like, if GG gets match point, it is going to be hard for BTK because now you're coming into this game, and that's not like slander. Maybe hearing that, you could take it as Why did I get upset with the Nico situation? Because it just the same reason why everyone got upset for Yahweh getting kicked out of Echo. It's a player that we like. It's a player that we love. And nobody likes to see a player get kicked for interpersonal reasons. Doesn't feel good. A player that's grinded for three months to get to grand finals. Yeah, it doesn't feel good, man. Doesn't feel good. So it was a little upsetting. Also, like I've said, like all these players I've known for a really long time, I'm just waiting for midnight. He's going to DM me soon, and we're going to jump into the analysis. We're waiting for midnight. We're going to go over draft and stuff. Yeah, no, and again, like I think a lot of people took it as like I'm hating on Mark Cutie. Like, no hate towards Mark Cutie. I also have a lot of love for Mark Cutie. I used to manage Area 77 with Mark Cutie, Yato, Baj, Jules, Gals. Like I used to work with those guys. So like it's not like I don't hate on. It's not like I don't hate on. It's not like I'm hating on Mark Cutie. Or that like I personally thought Nicolette was the better mage. But there was no hate towards Mark Cutie. It was just like, no, it just didn't feel good. Doesn't feel good watching a player work for 3 months and then not be able to play in grand finals. DJY! Yo, how'd the restream go, man? How'd the restream go, bro? I hope it went well. TREX, relax, look up to the sky and say, it's JP's fault. NACT Finals was crazy. Lit. Do I think BTK will improve if they go to boot camp in PH? Yes. Yeah. Like this whole them getting this whole like C9 sponsor thing is pretty huge. Pretty huge. Midnight says he needs a few minutes, so we're chatting for like 5 minutes, guys. Like it's super huge. C9 is one of the is like Cloud9's so Cloud9. I mean, Zane's talked about it. There's no confirmation yet. There's no complete confirmation. Yeah, C9 was the sponsor for Shroud. If you know, if you guys watch any Super Smash Bros, they're the sponsor for Mango, which Mango is considered one of the greatest Smash players in the world. But from what I hear, from what I can say, I think, or from what I know, is it's not like I don't think it's just like I don't think it's just for MSC. Like I think once a sponsor is like completely confirmed, I gotta say it's gonna be at least I don't know. My guess is it'll be at least a year contract, right? Yeah, I don't think they've signed it yet. So it's like I'm pretty sure it's confirmed, but I don't think they've signed it yet. I think it's kind of just logistics now and stuff. Yeah, probably at least till M series and stuff, right? So that's huge. Yeah, it's C9. No joke. Mobazane already announced it. Mobazane already talked about it. I guess I can say that those are some of the same things I heard behind the scenes. Contract for 1 year. There we go. So which actually this is like, honestly, this is a decent time to sign, right? Because you get the 1 year now. You go all the way into next season, into next spring season. And if you win season, then you probably guarantee yourself another year, right? If you win, like if you go into next season, because even let's say you whiff fall season, right? And you don't go to M6, you still have them for another spring season. And then if you win spring season, maybe they re-sign, right? For another year. It's not even just Lee. We can look them up. Let's look up C9. NACT fall, GG versus Cloud9. Sheesh. I am almost positive that GG signed a year. I'm like 99% sure that they signed a year. But again, things can happen, right? It's all about contracts, what the contracts say. That's why it's really important to have lawyers read contracts. It kind of depends on the contract, right? But yeah, normally players, and then it depends on the players too. Like, all right, let's say if all 5 players are going to have the same exact contract, then yeah, they probably sign you for a year. But then there can always be like, so like I'm sure in MPL, depending on how good you are and how good your lawyer signs and everything, like there could be it's a year contract unless we change our mind, unless your performance is not up to par and we're able to prove that it's not up to par, you know, or like maybe if you lose, like there could easily be, you know, things in the contract of like the contract will stay as long as you're able to secure playoffs, you know, as long as you're able to secure this or that. Not just your org, but we're talking about all kinds of orgs. G the ICO. Just talking about contracts in general and why it's probably important. Asa Jamara, what's up? Ooh, midnight's ready. Halloween, Halloween, holla holla. Halloween, Halloween, holla holla. What's up, Vinny? In the great words of Flava Flav. Join the second one. Yeah, we're going to watch playoffs next week. Hell yeah, we're going to watch playoffs next week. Then why you always supported all other teams except BTK? Guys. Hold on. Do I need to go pull up the past 2 years of NACT? Do I need to go pull up the past 2 years? People just like forget, bro. They just forget. They say I vote GG one time and now I've never supported BTK? Last year, I was the only one who voted for BTK. Back in... I'm the only one... Last year I was the only one who voted for them. Why have I a pink hat? Because I'm cool like that, bro. Yo, yo, yo.
What's up?
Going, bud?
Nothing much. I just woke up.
Good morning.
Yeah. Morning.
You got yourself some coffee?
Yep.
Oh yeah. What is so you don't have any other job outside of the casting, right? Like you don't have like a day job or anything, do you? Like other than
No.
casting and
I do
coaching and
consulting
stuff?
work though.
You do what?
For consulting work for other stuff.
Okay. All right. So a lot of days if you're not doing the casting stuff, sometimes you just have full days and stuff like that. Like now that you're doing the
Mostly
coaching,
full
of course
days.
you have other stuff, but yeah, but you don't have to like go to a job or anything. Nice.
Yeah, not really. I just stay inside the house.
Hell
Everything's
yeah.
online.
Hell yeah. All right. So midnight. What I would like to do here is kind of do some. I'm at some point I'll probably do. I want to do like some in-depth analysis on a lot of the games and stuff. But I would like to jump into drafts with you and kind of pick your brain and then kind of throw out my thoughts on it, and then you can respond with
Hmm.
yeah, you're kind of close, or no, you're fucking idiot, Trex. What are you talking about? That is not what I was thinking. So yeah,
All right.
that's
Actually, can you share screen to me? So
yeah. I'm gonna share screen with you once. Boom. Halloween, Halloween, holla holla. Halloween, Halloween, holla holla. You're on my screen, so give me 1 second.
All right, I see it.
Midnight on screen here. Right, comrade. So so I do kind of want to talk about like very first game or first coming in, like first thoughts coming in. Um, Personally, from like some of the casters' thoughts, um, I think there was always like the possible idea that maybe they try to ban out Mobazane, but also like none of us thought you guys were too worried about that. Honestly, we felt like there was a lot of good heroes that some other players felt good on, and it kind of showed during season, like when Cold World got the Matilda because they were trying to hard ban into Mobazane. So a lot of us wondered whether GG were going to take that route or just like draft normally. Were those thoughts at all running through your mind at all?
I mean, going into the finals, definitely like having we prepared a lot of things, especially like it's still is gonna worry us if like it comes down to it, but not too much of a problem for us if ever that do happen, which is really like prevalent in Game 7. So I think we came into the finals with that in mind. We have a lot of preparation for it, and I do think we were ready for like the game that uh when it does happen.
Yeah, when it did happen at game fucking 7, that was
Yep.
silly. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that one later because that was freaking silly in my mind. All right, so game number 1. They been out the Barats. You guys been the Angela. From what I know, and this is just because I think I talked to Mobazane a bit about it, Marcuti not super comfortable on the Angela. Or
Mhm.
like, or he just doesn't enjoy playing it, right? Like that's not something that's like really in his source. So did you guys pretty much come into all of these thinking Angela, like we're just not gonna ever let Angela on the field?
Oh yeah. All I mean, it was kind of obvious, but if you look at the draft, like all 7 games, they banned Barats, we banned Angela. That's something that we were not gonna either way. Even if we do have a chance of it, I just don't think it suits Mara's playstyle. And I don't think like with the current composition or roster that we have, I don't think we could have utilized the Angela that well.
Yeah, that's fair. I think even in what upper bracket when you guys had the only time the Angela really worked was like with the alpha, and that was kind of like a risk play in a sense. Like it was definitely ballsy, which it worked and it worked really well, but it was like it was a pocket pick, I feel like. So coming into game one, I did not expect the Claude ban. I know Basic is like a decent Claude, and I know like it's probably one of his signature marksmen. Like at least in the past, like past NACTs, it's been a good marksman for him. But I definitely didn't expect this ban. Then they ban out the Valentina. You guys ban out the Matilda, and then the Ling gets banned out. So there was two major bans that a lot of us were surprised about, and the Claude was one of them, and then the Ling from you guys was one of them. And my thoughts was like, was there a recent patch? Someone said he got slightly buffed. I didn't know if there was like some inside intel or something. But it definitely felt a little weird. Like it caught a lot of us off guard, the Ling ban.
It's definitely a mixture of like all the things you sell, patch, and also just the fact that Ling is so scary. Like if you have a good I mean if your playstyle suits it, I think Ling just like he scales towards the late game. Most of the heroes that we play suck at Ling. Uh, it's a matchup thing. Even though like coming into the finals, we did have some arguments about like having to ban the Ling or letting it through. I think we went with whatever's gonna be comfortable for us, but for like all players, and that was a team decision that that happened. That's why we banned the Ling all 7. I mean not all 7 games, but there were a lot of clear conditions for us to make, and I think game one we just need to get comfortable with the picks that we have in the bans.
Sure. And again, it's game one, right? So we feel like all right, like we don't.
Yeah, we didn't want to take the
Nothing has to
risk.
get too crazy. Yeah, nothing has to get too crazy. So that explains that. Did you expect the Claude ban?
Oh yeah, these 3 bans we so like here's the thing. Whenever we do drafts for a game, we have like I make main draft lines, kind of like chess, like
Yeah.
main moves. So there's like 3. Well, there's 7 main draft lines, and one of them is this. So when I saw these 3 bans, we were so happy. It's like we expected those bans, and we got all the bans that we wanted.
So pretty much everything felt comfortable from this point. And then
Yeah.
what did they first pick here? We're gonna jump a little bit ahead. The Luyi. So were you guys like when we saw the Luyi, it was definitely like I think a lot of us knew Hoon was gonna pick it. He's been playing it a lot. They felt comfortable with it. A lot of us were kind of worried about this pick. We knew like this was a power play for them. I'm guessing you guys had an idea that this could be first pick. Was there worry? Did you know, like, was this also kind of part of the line? And it was like, we're just going to play against this and see how we're going to go against it?
Honestly, I to myself, I kind of expected that GG would pick up the Louis at some point, but it was a surprise that they first picked it, considering that usually GG waits for like good matchups for Hoon to pick that hero up.
Yeah.
But then again, we weren't that like scared of the Louis because we knew we would have to play against it because if we're second pick and if they don't pick Louis, then we're getting Louis for ourselves. So I think GG just wanted to ban Valentina and then first pick Louis so that they get comfortable heroes and also like remove Mars Louis. But it wasn't like it wasn't like a pick that kind of destroyed the variation. It still followed like the the main line that we were threading.
I feel like the Louis, like I also, yeah, because a lot of times also they'll pick up the Fredrin against you guys, first pick, things like that to kind of throw you guys off. But I think the Ling ban throws them a little bit just because it leaves a lot of extra things open. Like, the Arlot's still there, the Edith is still there, the Lu Yi's still there. So I think in this situation, no matter what, they were kind of in like a bad trading spot, right? It's like you said, they pick up the Fredrin, you get the Lu Yi plus you get the Edith, or you get the Lu Yi plus you get the Arlot, or this or that. And if they pick up the Fredrin, then you get the Lu Yi plus, it's like no matter what. So I think it kind of, like the Ling Ban kind of threw us all off, but also I think it worked in favor of you guys in the end there.
That's something that we actually discussed. Like, if I don't see specific bans, specifically Ardent or Edith, we're gonna be making throw bans. And essentially, what a throw ban is it's a hero that you want to remove in the game, but you don't really necessarily have to do it. So we just get extra heroes for trades, right?
Yeah.
So they got Louis, we got Fred and Edith, which we were happy about. We could have gotten the Ardent and Edith, so makes sense to ban the Ling so that we win the trade with the two heroes that we have on our side.
I like it. The Guinevere was a pick that again, I feel like it hasn't been a super hot pick all over, but they have been using it pretty well against the Fredrin. I think they used it in upper bracket a little bit against you guys. And then of course Arlot also decent pick, nothing too crazy. Now the Natan. Now from what I heard is, because I think I overheard you guys talking about this, is that Basic has like felt pretty good in the Natan, and this was like a pick that he kind of wanted, right?
Basic's Natan is crazy. Like during scrims, he'd 1v5. That's the thing. He was very comfortable with the Natan, and coming into this matchup, we know that all of the heroes of Zia, I mean, like gold matchup wise, all of the heroes of Zia, we can actually pick the Natan in. Even though like at the later part of the draft they got the Irithel, I still thought that with the comfortability of Basic, he could have like played the Natan crazily. But the thing is, like game one, they felt for some reason they felt nervous, specifically Basic. He wasn't able to play his game. So I like looking back at it right now, this Natan pick was so early. I could have just second phase it, maybe waited for the last pick, waited for the golden matchup. But it was something that we wanted to set up. Like like for me personally, I wanted to get that Natan third and then ban these two heroes like the Roger, Ixia, force the Harith from GG.
Yeah, which is fair. I think it's fair, and I think like the Natan pick is, I mean, it's not like a bad pick. Of course, it ended up not working out very well in game one, but I definitely think it was solid overall. And what did we do? So Cold World, we knew Cold World was going to be on the Edith here. During this whole series, did Edith got flexed to EXP one time? I think you guys flex Edith EXP. I think in like game 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that. Can't remember.
We flex Edith a lot because the thing about Edith is that it's very good in Roam, but also good in XP. The thing is, like, personally, I like it better on Roam because like you provide a lot of setups, and also like it's just a good first phase hero. Like you show Edith, you're not really showing anything else. Like yeah, it's a Roam in XP, but still it provides you the flexibility or the room to flex up until the last pick. So that's why we wanted to Edith every first phase, every chance that we get, because it's also good against GG because Shark plays it. So we really contested the art and Edith a lot because like again because of the flex factor and also just the fact that if you get it, you're removing one of the bigger heroes from GG.
Fair. And then I feel like the Lilia was solid here. I mean, Lilia's after some of the other choices out there, even Vexana might have been decent here, but I think the Lilia, one of the main reasons is she can pick up the Purify, plus she has the black shoes, so just a lot of escapability from the Guinevere, from the Final Slash, from a lot of the kill threat on there. That's where the Lilia, I think, couldn't be a solid pick here. I don't know if that was any of the thoughts.
Yeah, actually, Mar wanted the Lilia. He said he was gonna win the mid matchup, and I believed him because it's a Louis versus a Lilia. And it's also good against the two that we saw first phase, like the Gwyn, the Arlet. They're just not gonna have a hard time against. So when he made the suggestion, I was like, all right, I'm gonna give you Lilia. Even though we were still like thinking about the Vexana, because like Edith Vex is so crazy. Like the amount of CC that you have and the
Yeah.
damage you have early game is so crazy. But having a mage that can just win you the game, I think that was what convinced me to like pick up the Lilia for Mar, especially with the suggestion as well coming from him.
I feel like, and then you pair that up. I mean, I feel like CC was just so huge right now. That's one reason why Vexana does so good. Did you guys expect the Martis swap here? Did you guys expect the Gwen to go to to go to Rome here? Did that pick kind of
At the
catch you off guard?
time, at the time, actually, interestingly enough, when we banned the Ixia and picked up the Lilia, my head was thinking, what if they flex the what if they flex the fucking Guinevere and then just pick up Martis? And that was an issue because like Lilia is so bad against Martis. Honestly, early game, he does not care if you have black shoes. He does not care if you have purify. The moment you get caught by Martis in the river, or if you just step inside the range of Martis, you're gonna get fucked. So I was like when we got the Lilia, I was thinking to my head, what if they get Martis? What if they get Martis? And then they pick up the Martis. I was like, fuck. And then they
Yeah.
pick up the Irithel, which is a good goal lane matchup against the Natan. So after the draft, I felt like even though we got the Yuzong for Milo, which was good because it's good against the Arlet and also like Mardis in general because it's a instant petrify. It didn't
Yeah.
feel good that they also have a win condition on the early game, which GG is the strongest at. Like they have a clear early game advantage, especially in the jungle and the trio mid. It's a big problem for us, and that happened in this.
Yeah, that is something like they're one thing you can't count them out on is their early game rotation, their laning phase, like the first 6 minutes. If they have
Yeah,
a
they're solid.
clear way, yeah, they're very solid, super solid. And then basic this game, rough game for basic on the Natan.
Yeah, nervous. Warm up game.
Yeah, and it felt like that. I think it was a warm up game a bit for everybody. It just went into GG's favor, and they kind of carried that. You guys come back. Where's game 2 at? So, game 1, rough game. Are there any like major thoughts coming into game 2? Like anything like, okay, we're probably not going to pick that again, or okay, we want to switch things up here. Like after game 1, where was the mindset at for you?
After game 1, we did it. I mean, of course, there's gonna be adjustments, especially with the last phase of GG. Like, we now sort of like expected that they would flex the Gwyn to roam, but also GG would prioritize winning gold lane matchups. So coming into game 2, we didn't adjust that much because now this time we're first pick, right? So we're
Mhm.
gonna be following a different line of like the draft. So it's still the same thing. Like we banned the Angela, we banned the Ling, especially the Ling, because like first pick for us is really really dangerous. Like GG would have 2 picks that we could not essentially counter, which is the first phase last pick and also the second phase last pick. That's why we insta banned the Ling here. So like we all knew that this is gonna happen. We won't be able to flex our bans, I would say, like in a way that we don't have any room for like throw bans on the first pick or the blue side.
Yeah.
So that was like the whole mindset coming into the second match.
They ban out the Matilda this time, so you guys take the R lot, which I think is solid, super solid.
Yeah,
And
because if we
then
ban Arlot and then they ban Edith, then there's no Arlot Edith trade.
yeah,
If we
there's
ban Arlot and they don't ban Edith, we're gonna take Edith.
so that's the thought. So at least there's an EX. So you eliminate the EXP or you give them the option for the EXP trade, and that's why you guys first pick Edith. So that was actually so for me, this Edith pick was kind of surprising. I guess I didn't think about that, the R lot ban, and that now you're trading on EXP lane, which EXP lane is true. It's like I think it's very overlooked right now, and just like how important it is, and especially R lot right now. But and then you also eliminate that flexibility pick because both of those heroes are super flexible, like we were talking about earlier with
So essentially, what this Arlot ban and Edith pick does is it narrows down like the selection for GG. Because like most flex on GG side is on between Shark and the Fried Chicken, like the Arlot, the Edith. Sometimes it's Shark and best player, like the Gwyn flex, But
Hmm.
mostly it comes down to like especially for first phase, right? It comes down to Shark and Fight Chip. So if you eliminate both Ardent and Edith from their side, it makes it easier for me to narrow down the hero pool of Shark.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised by the Claude ban again here too, because still, like you said, like we kind of offer, you kind of offer them the trade. They don't go for it. They give you the Edith. Um, but I still think they're in a place where they really want the Lu Yi, because I'm pretty sure they go. Do they go Lu Yi again here, or is this the game
Yeah,
that there is? Yeah, they go Lu Yi first pick. They're heavy prowling the pick.
yeah. This is what we
Which
expected.
yeah, and I was kind of nervous. Like I was nervous for like when you guys didn't, because like the Lu Yi was troublesome in game one. And even though you guys win this game, I feel like it was still kind of troublesome here. But like for me, Louis, for like looking at you guys, like I felt like it was high risk not banning out the Lu Yi and not first picking it. I was like, oh, that is tough. That is scary. Now, like, was there just like full confidence in you or in
Yeah,
like you and the players of like we can beat the Lu Yi, like it's not a problem?
yeah. I mean, like it's the same thing that I said earlier. We don't really care about them taking the Louis because we want it for our side too. Like if it's left open, we would have taken it for Mar. So we weren't scared about the Louis, and this also goes like into one of the mistakes that I did on game number one. I should have just gone chip on the first game, like third pick instead of Nathan. I should have went
Pick
Fredrin,
up the chip.
Fredrin, Edith, and then chip. So this game we did the same thing. Like we got the chip against the Louis.
Yeah, and you get the so you get the Valentina third pick too.
Yep.
So if you need the Diversion, you have it. You also have other options as well. You get the
Yeah,
Fredrin.
I can't third pick chip here because they're gonna remove the Val.
I almost feel like their Harith pick here was a little bit early. Um, like I think the Harith is solid, but also I think it's like a counterplay, you know, and like something that's been good against the Roger. Claude, I don't know. I just feel like maybe that was an early pick. Maybe they could have locked in something else here. Do you think their Harith pick up front like that was solid?
I was expecting honestly, I was expecting Louis Roger because
Yeah.
playing Harith into Edith is so dangerous. Like you use Zalman Force, he just stands there, hits you, and that hero hits like a motherfucking truck. You deal damage to Edith. Next thing you know, he's bursting you down. So
Yeah.
I think GG should have went Roger here, especially with Zia. His level of comfort with the Roger is something else. And I feel like they just went with Harith because of the fact that it wins the lane against Roger.
That's so an exact. So like it's like preemptively striking the Roger pick, but honestly,
Mhm.
but you're right. Zia's like, and on basic and Zia both did well because I think does basic end up getting the Roger this game. I feel like both of them did well at certain games when they had the Roger up against the enemy Harith, like which was kind of surprising. Which both of them feel pretty comfortable, but Zia, yeah, I think they could have comforted Zia onto the Roger because we've already seen him like he got the Savage on the Roger against
Yeah.
BTK. Um, like he just knows when to kind of come in on it. And they pick up
Hmm.
this Guinevere again.
Yeah, it's against Fred. It's good against Fred
Yeah, and
because you remove the mobility factor of Fredrin.
and it's also a great flex for them, right? Like if they want to put
Yeah.
it in jungle, or Shark has now shown that he can play it very well. So there's super possibilities all around with it, pretty much.
Yep.
But they do put themselves with a decent amount of magic damage now with the Harith and the what's it called? No one
Harith
bands here.
Louis
Yeah, Harith
with
Louis.
yeah. This is where I knew like GG also prepared for us. Like these second phase bands are always on point. Like the Grog, the Kajas, they're always targeting Cold World. Because like I usually just
Even with the
first
Edith up, they're like,
yeah
no,
the
we're not
amount of
risking
respect,
it.
right?
They're like, nope, we
The
don't want to go
amount of
against that
respect.
fucking Kasha.
But
Which
that
is
I think that's where the major difference came into play. Like coming into this matchup, we all knew specifically like I knew what they're gonna be banning against us, like these Grogs, these Kajas, the Claudes, all these bans that GG made, we sort of like expect. That's why we came to the finals with like at least two more heroes per role, aside from Mage, obviously. But like with Chris or Cold World, Mello, Zane, we came into this finals really prepared. Like we added more heroes that we can play comfortably, so that if it if it does show up like with the bans that GG made, we're not gonna care.
Yeah, you always have a third, fourth, or fifth pick, right? Just in
Yeah,
case. Which it showed, right? Like with Cold World jumping onto the chip, which like even the chip pick ended up being a pick that probably could have got like he played it so well and GG was so
yeah, yeah,
unprepared for it that it could have even not been a back pocket pick. Like it could have been an upfront pick or like a
yeah.
prio pick for him just because it worked so well against them.
That guy played chip 3 times.
I mean, he's not that. I mean, it's not like a super hard hero. You just sit up at that top
Yeah,
port. He just all Cold World did was I was watching on the mini map the whole time. I'm like sitting next to Wheezy and I'm pointing at the mini map. I'm like, Cold World's just sitting here at this, this
exactly.
portal, right? Just cover
Bro,
lane, make sure lane doesn't get pushed in, and sit on top of that portal, bro. That's your job.
yeah, it's so fucking funny. Like the very first game that Colbert played on Chip, he was like, "What the fuck do you do in this hero?"
Are you
And
just gonna
I
sit
told him,
here all game?
yeah, I told him what Chip does is completely the opposite of what you do. Like instead of fucking trying to outplay everybody on like the jungle, you basically punch them, get the shield, get the poke, but mid game you just stand in the fucking portals. Because like usually roamers roam, right? They roam.
Yeah.
Like that's the essence of a roamer. They move around the map. Chip is the complete opposite. He just stands there, stares at you, and then watches the portals. And I don't like the fact that the fucking thing gives vision.
Oh,
I hate that shit.
you get vision from it. So
Yeah,
like if
I
he
hate
sits at
that.
portal, he gets vision to each other portal.
Yeah, he gets
That's
the
broken.
fucking the view, right? He gets the view. He gets
That's
the view.
broken.
Even though like the people could see when you're peeking, like the portal opens up, right?
Yeah, but still,
I don't
yeah, who
feel I don't
cares?
feel like that
They
fact.
have
You
a
still
1 in 4 chance of knowing which one you're at, or a 1 in 3 chance. You have a guarantee of knowing which one they're at.
exactly.
Damn, that's broken. And then so it's kind of similar too to like how you can use like during like Lord fights later in the game, like mid to late game, you can use Angela to like handle long lane, handle opposite lane
Yeah,
because she can
yeah, yeah,
always
yeah.
heart guard. Like I noticed you guys, like Chip would just like cover off lane. EXP lane didn't even have to watch his lane a lot of the
Mhm.
time during like third turtle and stuff like that because Cold World's just hanging out up there like waiting, like I'll clear wave and then when you need me I'll show up.
Yeah.
God forbid if someone walks into him, then he just drops
Yeah.
the ultimate and boom.
Fucking delivers you 4 more people. It's essentially fucking Avengers, right? Assemble.
Yeah, assemble. That's actually a good one. That is good. Um, so coming to this, you guys heavy banned Fried Chicken here, like in second phase, which is solid. Who are some players who were like major worries for you, or like like coming into this? Were there any picks that like obviously the Ling was a thought for best player. Was there any other players that like we wanted to always try to not be comfortable? Like any players like we wanted to make sure Mielo always had a good lane, or we wanted to try to make sure Basic always had the advantage. Like was there anyone that we always wanted to try to have the advantage?
This game,
Or just in
well,
general?
all throughout the series, it was Shark.
Shark.
So like that's why we made the whole Ardent Edith thing happen for first phase. So once we get that removed, I mean once we get that down to the like the trades and stuff, we focus on somebody else. So like specifically in this game, we had we removed the Ardent, we got the Edith. We don't have to worry about Shark anymore, especially now that we see the Edith. So coming to the second phase, it's Fight Chicken because he gets last pick. That's a chicken move. Like that's GG. That's
Yeah.
the behavior or new ones I would say. Like if they're able to take a winning matchup on XP, they'll gladly do it. Chicken's always gonna be last pick if we don't show XP.
Do you think so? In game one, they favored him like because he got a solid pick because he got the Arlott. Like I feel like the only time, and you're right about that, the only time he'll get a first phase pick is when the Arlott or the Edith is open. Other than that, he always gets slotted to the end. And do you
Because they
think
they
that
flex it.
was one of the do you think that was like one of the mess ups for them? Because Chicken honestly didn't have the greatest series, and I don't think it was his fault exactly.
Mhm.
Like he always had a pretty below average KDA overall across the 7 games, and like Chicken's an amazing player. so it was kind of surprising seeing that. And do you think it was like that was a downfall, that he just always kind of got shafted in the EXP lane and put in these situations where you guys were able to just like ban him out or pick him out, you know?
I wouldn't say it's a downfall because it's more of like us taking advantage of like the patterns that GG makes, and I don't think it's GG's fault because honestly, I do understand like this trap behind taking XP last because you'd always want winning matchups, right? Heck, I even had I even had Milo complaining to me like, Coach, get me a winning XP matchup. And I told him that's not always going to be the case. It depends on the patterns that we see. It's going to depend on like the comps that we're trying to make. If I see a good comp with specific heroes on XP, I'd still give it to you, even though it's even if it's a bad matchup. Let's just work around it inside the game. So it doesn't really mean that they how would I phrase it? It's not G's fault that they do it that way. It's more of like you have to be more unpredictable because like every single game that GG plays, that's always a thing that they do. So good teams would pick up on that pattern, recognize that there's something that GG always does every game,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't change it up. So I feel like it's more of us seeing that pattern and knowing how to play around it.
And you make a really good point there, and it's something that, because I'm not a coach or analysis, it's not something I would like write down on paper, but it is something like once you say that, it is something that is noticed with GG a lot. Like White Chicken is, and I think all through season we see it a lot. He was slotted down to last slot, and then even towards those final 2 games, the 2 assassin games, we knew the moment best player wasn't first phased, we were like, oh, he's gonna go assassin. Like it was pretty readable, and I'm pretty sure you guys probably read it too. Like the moment best player was not slotted in the beginning, it was like, this is an assassin game for best player.
Yeah. I swear to God, Game 6 and Game 7, those were fun drafts.
So go on this. They pick up the CC, which did CC get a nerf before all this? Because CC was like super prioed, and I'm pretty sure CC got a small nerf, so she hasn't been like as prioed. I think one of our worries when we saw this CC pick was lack of crowd control for GG. And Fried Chicken wasn't going to be able to supply that, which I think one of the great things for Fried Chicken is he's great at initiating for his team. When he has a power hero like that, when he has something like the Edith, when he has something like the Arla, or like back in the days, Lapu, Yuzong, things like that, that was something he was really good on. So like a CC's, it's strong and he's good at it, but it's still like it doesn't give him that possibility to like set for his team. And this is when you guys pull out the freaking chip, bro. So like coming after the Kaja and after the Grok, was it already like, all right, we're playing the chip this game, or was there some debate in comms? Was it like, or was it just we know?
No, we knew. We were playing it against 3 heroes that are bad against chip, so we sort of like expected that GG wouldn't pick chip fourth. I mean, if they did, we still had a decent counter against it. I wouldn't say what it is, but we had a decent counter against it. So like them taking up the CC here was a little fucked, honestly, in my opinion. Like CC got nerfed because of the armor nerf, right?
Hold on. Rewind real quick. Zane, bro. Hold on. This guy vaping on stage like a monster. He's got clouds coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. So CC got nerfed because of the armor nerfs, right? With the items, he's not as tanky as
Gotcha.
But he still does the same damage. But I think where they fucked up was they flexed the Guinevere to the last pick, but that showed us Chicken Zero, and showing Chicken Zero on fourth allowed us to take this Roger, honestly, because it was really scary picking Roger blindly into this game. But we knew we were gonna have to play Roger blind and also XP blind. But when they showed the chip, the CC, Roger was suddenly like looking good, and then also we knew that all right, we can actually put the fucking Edith on XP, because like I'd have to worry about the XP matchup, right? So I would reconsider giving Milo the Edith and taking up the chip. Maybe I put Edith roam and then get a different XP, like a more stable XP, something like at the Rizla or something. But they showed chip that opened up the idea of the Edith playing against CC because it's not a bad matchup, and then take Roger chip.
Fair, fair. Coming in, so you're in VC with them pretty much until end of draft, like final seconds, or like right at final pick. You got to get out VC. What's rule of thumb on that?
After the last pick, I tell them what to do, like the general game plan, overall macro. It's
So that leads into my
very
next
macro
thoughts. Like coming into this game, and I would have liked to ask you last time. We'll start with this game, I guess. Like, are there ever like is it like, okay, we're gonna really try to contest turtles, or we're gonna really focus EXP lane, or we're really gonna focus gold lane? Like, what is overall thought coming into this game?
This game, I remember what I said this game. Like, get whatever you can, fight turtle as much as you can. But if they're forcing trades, don't play around that. Just play around the chip.
Play around the chip. Wait until chip comes on, until you get the teleports, and then look for pickoffs.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff.
basically don't have to force anything. That's why the death with base on basic was so bad on top lane. They forced the play with Roger and Chip when we could have just waited for, like, all our timings, wait for Chip level 4, wait for the ult, and then play the map basically.
Fair. Trying to think, was there anything huge this game? I guess had good turtle control. This is the game when Basic actually did decent this game. He went up against the Harith. I think he did lose lane a bit. He lost tower first, I'm pretty sure, but that wasn't really like his fault completely.
Oh, also one thing is, like, even before I picked Roger, I knew I was gonna pick Roger, but Basic asked me, Coach, are you confident with my Roger? He brought it up. Like, he also had the same idea to pick the Roger up. So that's the thing with my team. Like, they understand the matchups too. They know what's good into this lineup, and it's very comfortable drafting for them because, like, we have the same mindset, but also they trust themselves and they trust the draft. That's a good thing about this team.
And I feel like you have trust. So that goes to say, like, you have trust in them. If they're like, hey, are we okay with this pick? And they also have trust in you if you're like, maybe not. Or if you're like, hey, you're going to run this game. Like, there's trust there, right?
Yeah. So when he asked, he was like, Coach, are you confident with my Roger? That was a specific line. Are you confident with my Roger? And I was going to pick it either way. I didn't mind because I trusted Basic. So when he asked that, I was like, 100%. 100%. So we picked a Roger.
Oh, yeah. And he actually gets ganked a bit here. He has a rough start, actually. Basic definitely had. I feel like Basic kind of had a rough start to the series, and then about halfway through the series, he started popping off. Yeah. Basic actually I got a lot of hate for it. Basic almost had my vote for for MVP, honestly, just because towards later last 3 or 4 games. So I feel like he played really well, personally, but hey.
I think.
Yeah, and he just got kind of hard focused, man. Like, that's like, even this game, you can't do it. Like, if you're getting ganked literally first 2 minutes by 3 or 4 members, like, there's not a whole lot you can do. And the fact that he comes back and at 9 minutes he's now 2 kills in, he's doing okay. He's pretty clean. He's now winning his lane.
And Basic knew, like, GG loves going gold lane, but even then, like, coming to the late game, they don't have the greatest kit against Roger, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like, and that's like, especially with the CC, the fact that they lack that, because like one of the things that downfalls Roger, right, is having that heavy frontline crowd control, just to like deny like things like the Fredrin, things like Vex, or things like things that are like terrible, things that can just literally stop you from coming in. That's one of the things that like the Roger has trouble with, and here he just runs right in, man. Nobody can really fuck with him.
Yeah, we did that shit in game 4. I remember you mentioning as well. I was like, TREX, you're onto something.
It's true, man. It's tough, man. Like the Roger, because Zia picked the Roger and he couldn't do shit. I don't remember what was that, game 4, game 5 or something. Zia was on Roger and he was useless, man. And I was watching. I was like, bro, Zia can't do anything. He's like, he had no way in. There was nothing Zia could do that game. He was literally like useless that game. Because you see that happen with Roger sometimes, and it's tough watching those games.
We had some trouble game 4, but we knew late game was ours, honestly. after if we
That was
manage to
when
get
that
out of
was
early.
carry, basic pick carry, right? Was that the
No,
carry game?
that was game 5.
Harith?
Game 4 was the Roger Harith against Roger Harith, and Chicken was on Uranus.
Okay. Yeah, chicken's Uranus was actually pretty clean. But again, no big initiation, man. No CC.
Yeah.
CC's like fucking god in MLBB right now.
I actually don't remember what happened game 3.
Game 3, GG wins again. All right,
Yeah, they
so
won game 3.
after halftime's now done. Did you have a little chat with the team during halftime? What was
Oh yeah. Yeah.
chatting it up? Everyone's happy. 1-1. I actually saw Moba Zane and some of them in the bathroom. Cold World and Moba Zane. I was in the bathroom. They were in there, and they were like, "We couldn't go to halftime without a game, man." And I was like, "All right."
Yeah, we had to talk about what happened game 1. Basically, me and Rose told the players to don't get nervous. We're in this to win it. We had to play best of ones. So that was the whole mindset coming into the next set. Like all these games are best of ones. We don't think
Yeah.
about it as series. We just play one game at a time.
That's that OG mentality right there.
Yep.
One of the hypest lines I ever heard from a
This
coach
was the
was,
COD game. Fudge.
and this was the game whenever they got redrafted. They had to redraft.
Yeah,
Right?
because Mara's phone apparently bugged out.
Where the hell's my draft at? No, these were replays. Yeah, this is replays.
Game 3 was such a winning draft, honestly.
All right, so game 3, pretty much same thought, same line of draft and everything. This time you guys are on red side.
Yep, they opened up Claude this game.
Angela, Matilda, they switch up this time. They don't ban out the Claude this time. That's what it is. They don't ban out the Claude this time.
And you're gonna see it. They banned Arlet.
You guys ban the Edith? Or do you ban the Ling again? Because that's like the question, right? You guys, so there it is. And I remember one of the games you didn't ban the Ling, and I was like, so now it makes sense because you're doing the Arlot Edith trade, and if they're gonna ban the Arlot, you guys didn't do what they did last time. It's like you guys maybe the smarter ones or whatever, however you want to call it. It's like no, we're gonna if you're banning the Arlot, we're taking out the Edith.
Yeah, so that's how you classify a throw ban, right? Essentially when we're second pick, we don't care about Ling. It's like they can't pick that blind into us. Especially if they do that. Like if I don't see Carlos's hero for like the first 4 picks, I'm not taking Chris's hero. Because I want Rome last pick. Maybe some Kaja, Hilda, stuff like that to counter the assassins, right? So with the Ling, I don't really care about him when we're on second pick. But because of the fact that we didn't see any Arlet ban first game, I just threw away the Ling ban. So like it's a hero that I don't have to deal with, but I don't necessarily have to ban. So this game I opened up the Ling because like I saw the Arlet Edith, and then they take the Louis, so it still follows the main line. But now even if they take Ling, I have Rome last pick.
Mm-hmm. And this time you guys get the Vex. Yeah, you still get Rome last pick to counter the Ling if they end up falling to that. Lu Yi up front again, and this kind of goes back into what you were saying is like GG never once switches their line really when it comes to like first pick, things like that. They always kind of keep it pretty much the same. And when they finally do switch, it's like game 7 where they probably shouldn't be switching, right? It's like game 7 where like if they were going to go that route, maybe they should have. And I kind of feel like by game 7, it was more of just like a mental thing in draft. And I think that's where BTK, the fact that they have you helping out with draft, the fact that they have some other people relieving some of that pressure, that's where in the end you guys come out on top because I think by game 7 they're all just like tired. They're like, what do we do?
Yeah, and they have to draft.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my players are just chilling because I was thinking about game 7 draft.
Exactly. Exactly. You're already you've got game 7, 8, 9 draft already ready to go by game 5.
Game 10,
you know?
This was the time where I start like following my player suggestions, especially if it's comfort picks. Because I remember like the discussion was between Harith or Claude, because Claude was open, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Roger, Guinevere, these two suck against Harris, and they also suck against Claude. But I went with Claude just because I want to give the players some trust. I want to make them feel that we trust their hero. You guys know what you're doing. You just have to play your game. So we take Claude here.
Fair. And just to someone asked in chat real quick, just let everybody know, during draft, yes, Midnight is in VC. I'm drafting with them. Just let everybody know. He goes off VC after last pick. He says his last words before the timer runs out for it, and then before they jump in the game. VC, yeah, he gets kicked. So yeah, during draft and everything, he is in. In between, I'm guessing after end of game, you jump back in for a minute before next draft picks up and everything.
Yep.
And then do you and Rose kind of watch the game together and stuff?
Yeah. We talk. We identify what the problems are, like who to target ban next. The main issue for like the previous draft, so that I can make adjustments for the next draft. Rose was a big help too. Not gonna lie.
Oh
Because
yeah.
the thing about Rose is that I honestly, and this is real shit by the way, like the hardest team to draft against is A77.
Yeah.
Because Rose was a good drafter. And there was a point in time where when we were doing scrims, I told Basic this. Like I allowed Rose to draft K, and all 5 picks that he got and 4 bans, I think, I was gonna do the same thing. So I knew that shit.
You guys are on the same line.
This
Yeah.
guy's legit.
Oh yeah. Good. So, and then it definitely relieves some pressure off you, and it's probably always nice to have someone to bounce stuff with, right? It's nice not to be doing that alone, and then you could be like, hey, well, what about this? And then they can be like, no, that's retarded, or they can be like, oh yeah, maybe this, and you have someone to kind of go back and forth with on ideas and stuff like that. Hell yeah.
It's good. It's good synergy, honestly.
So another question, real quick, after a game, how much time kind of goes into briefing the team? Like, because you were talking about like during game, you guys are noticing weaknesses, you guys are noticing problems. How much time is actually going into like pointing out weaknesses? Are we not trying to get the team too down? Is it mainly just like, all right, we're just going to talk about next draft? Because honestly, one thing about NACT, which probably shitty for a coach, is you guys don't get a lot of time between games comparative to like MPL and stuff like that. Like MPL, there's at least like a 15-20 minute break between each game. For us, it's like you got 5 minutes, get back in there, Yeah. So how do you kind of deal with that?
I mean, I don't care about the small breaks, honestly, because like huge chunk of those breaks are for like bathroom breaks. Honestly, even in MPLPH. And I like the approach where you use the smallest amount of time to brief the players with what happened the previous. Because I don't want to dwell on mistakes. I just want to tell them this happened, which sucks. We all know this. Moving forward to the next game, let's just refine this. So like I'd spend a good minute or so, maybe maximum 2, talking about what happened previous game, what the mistakes were, and how to adjust it. And they would understand. Like they're smart. They're smart people. Like they would already know. You don't need to explain so much. So it takes a small amount of time to talk about what happened next game, and then start talking about what's gonna happen for the next shot. Because I really just want to move on. I don't want to I don't want to make the players feel the pressure of dwelling into their mistakes.
I like it. And I think that's smart. Also, it gives less time for them to like really say anything back, or less time for any kind of argument. It's just like, all right, we got 2 minutes. Here's the deal. Now let's move on to the next game. Like there's no.
They don't really argue back, honestly. They don't really argue back.
That's good. All right, let's see. What do we got? So now we're coming in. What do we need? We need Rome, and we need EXP on your side. There. All right. So you guys banned the Fanny and the Ling here. I remember now.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, we have 2 heroes that are bad against Fanny.
And I think this is the game that best player actually slots the Gwynny for jungle. I think this is when best player actually ends up going Gwyn jungle. Yep. I think it just goes to show. I think throughout a lot of this series, they were like they pick up the Gwyn because it plays good against the Fredrin, but also in the hopes that they can maybe flex in that assassin jungle at some point, right? Like this
Yeah.
game could have been that, but you guys are like, nope, but there's always that hope. It's like if we pick up a jungle flex pick, then we can always bring in something possibly, right?
Yep. Yep.
So
Honestly, now that I'm looking back at this draft, the main line would have been Fred Vex and then Harris third, and then potentially set up for Chris last pick. But I didn't want to risk like going against the Ling because I already see the Gwyn. So like Gwyn Ling against Fred is so good. The thing about Gwyn Ling is that Gwyn is just gonna be able to annoy the Fred in the jungle. That's why I was forced to ban it. Because like the Ling is gonna be able to play the opposite side of the map. So wherever the Fred is, let's say he's bottom lane, Gwyn's there to annoy the Fred in. And it works because they also have a Louis. They can just TP around, follow up wherever the Ling is. So like I'd have a problem playing the opposite side of the map. So I was forced to ban it. I didn't like banning the Ling, but I was forced to ban it. That's why we got the Grok here for fourth. I wanna be able to flex. I want to be able to get the last pick XP, but also I don't have to worry about Ling. So that like the last pick roam condition is no longer there. I just want to be able to get the Grok, steal it away from Shark, so I can actually tell that whatever Shark is gonna pick, we all know what it is, and then potentially set up for a Paquito Esme matchup, which did happen. So
yeah, you
we
guys
were so happy with what happened in this draft. So like if you look at the heroes of GG, all five gets countered by Esme.
And that's so when we were saying that during draft, we're like, okay, because when the Esme first pops up, Wheezy and what's his name were a little like sus, and I go, hold on, but like honestly, Esme does decent against like even against the Ruby. It's not horrible because she wants to stay close to you anyways. It's not like she's just gonna walk up. The Paquito, not too phased by it. She also gets to pick up the Purify, so she's not too worried about the Guinevere. Like you can pick up Purify Esme and be totally okay with it. Gets the shield from everybody and stuff. So like this draft was actually solid. I think Cold World gets picked off like early game a few times.
Yeah, it's execution.
And then it just kind of, that's where I think it just went. Yeah, like you said, execution really here.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, even if say you have a good draft, there's also still the winning condition for GG, right? And this lineup snowballs really hard. Paquito, Gwyn, Louis, Roger, they snowball really hard. So if we lose early game, which we probably will because we have a Claude, at the very least, we need to be able to do something about it. That's why the Esme sounded perfect because like she is gonna be able to like play around against all these five players. But again, the execution fell apart early game. We lost control early game, so they just naturally snowballed.
I honestly feel like GG should have stuck to more drafts like this, like because this level 4 power spike is fucking bonkers. Like this, like this early game, like right after 2 minutes, this whole team just pops off. And in like we were talking about before, GG does really good in laning phase. They do really good in first several minutes. I think drafts like this is like if they would have stuck to more things like this, really just like hard level 4, level 5 spikes, it could have been a lot more troublesome, you know? Yeah, we come into this game, again, another rough game.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to watch.
Cold World gets caught off on like top side next to Turtle, that Turtle bush right there. And from there,
They
it was
had
just kind
problems
of...
here in this game too, like when it comes to the trio mid synergy.
Yeah.
We didn't put pressure enough Shark. I swear to God, Shark should have died like at least 4 times this game, but he didn't. Actually, I don't think he died this. That was the main issue. Like, my players got scared when they got a snowball in the early game.
Yeah. And then
So that's why we weren't able to play the Claude. And basic slaw was horrible in this game.
But that was that. There was the catch. That was the first catch right before Turtle too, so it was rough. Would you guys still end up getting this Turtle and like trading 1-for-1? It almost looks good because you guys get the best player. I can't remember exactly where this game completely falls apart, but
Mid game.
Mid game.
We got a lot of kills. A bunch of kills.
World goes down again.
Yeah.
And Fly
You
Chicken
can
starts
clearly see
getting involved.
the trio mid lack of synergy thing that I was talking about. Like usually these three, like Vex, Fred, Grok, they walk together. But most of the deaths Cold World had, he was just walking alone.
And it feels like just they were kind of really stuck mid too, like BTK. Shark's Ruby too is vicious, man. Like I think they should favor his Ruby a bit more because his Ruby is fucking pretty disgusting sometimes.
Yeah, he's insane. He's a monster in Ruby.
Yeah, he's a monster in a lot of shit. Like you said it earlier. Oh, this pick was bad. But you said it earlier. Like Shark was definitely a target, and just thinking about how we're making sure we mess with Shark's tempo, and I think that's super fair. All right. We lose this game.
Yeah, that was a sad game, honestly. And the comments after the game was, yeah, that was a winning draft. We just didn't play early game. So they snowballed really hard.
Real quick. Beauty plays decent. Basic still only dies once, but he's never really he's not really able to do anything this game, man. That's the thing. Your guys' damage didn't really come online in time.
He said it himself too, like he was not playing a good clock game.
Then we jump
so after
into...
this, we me and Rose ended up talking about like the potential gold lane setups, and we kind of agreed that this series is gonna be between Roger and Harris. Although we did take carry game 5 because of the trust thing, but it did end up being a Roger Harris affair.
Yeah, which even the carry that game 5, that was when you guys were on second pick that game, and you guys almost won that game, right? That was a really close game. I think that was red side. And
got the retry on the Lord.
Yeah, that was the panda. He pinned him, and best player fucking got the retry. Like
because unfortunately, the Lord was following Zane still, so the Lord walked out, and then got in range of retry.
And that's such a weird but the thing, even that though, like you only get like a millisecond to hit that retry button, like in between the panda hits, right? Like it's super weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it might have been spamming that shit too.
Yeah, he's just like that was definitely yeah. Or the spin. I almost want to go back and look because I'm wondering, did the spin end like right in the bad time? Because I remember watching that and thinking, oh, this is G's for BTK. Like he's got the pin on him, he's good. And then I see the Lord thing pop up and it's best player's face next to it. I'm like, holy shit.
It's unfortunate.
All right, so coming into this, you said we start to have the idea of like gold lane is pretty much Harith Roger. That's it. EXP lane's still pretty open, but we already have the idea of trading. Like from the very beginning, we had the idea of always trading Edith Arlott, which here both of those are open right now. Still not stressing the Lu Yi. Still no stress about the Lu Yi at all.
Yeah, don't care.
Or do you guys first pick it? One of the games you guys first pick it, don't you?
Yeah, this is the game.
This is the game.
This is the game we took it.
Because still, I mean, either way, or no, you guys pick the. You guys get the Arlott here.
We got Arlott. Yeah. I remember we got Arlott because it's open. Arlott Edith. We didn't want to give Arlott Edith to GG. If they picked if let's say they picked Louis here, we would have gone chip.
Okay, so thoughts here. They finally take the Fredrin from you guys. I think my thought is, personally, I'm pretty sure you end up picking the Akai this game, but my thought is you pick up the Akai because Zane's been doing great on the Akai against best players Fredrin. Like, that's one of the ways you guys, I feel like, beat them during season, I think it was. I like, personally, it wasn't just the Matilda for me. It was also that freaking Akai pick. What was Zane bullies best players Fredrin with that Akai, I feel like. So
yeah, it's a good matchup against Fred. It's kind of like a Guinevere. It's more guaranteed, I would say. Like Akai is sort of like a Guinevere when it comes to countering Fred because you just pin him. You don't allow him to move around. You don't also allow.
You don't give him a taunt. No fucking taunt.
Yeah,
you know?
The taunt, the stacks, the crystallized energy, the armor, so he doesn't get the Priestess Wrath.
I feel like, honestly, it's a really overlooked pick. Like in certain MPLs and stuff, like the Akai against the Fredrin, it's really is a decent pick against it.
Bren loves it.
Bren does?
Yeah, Akai against Fred.
And then you guys get the Lu Yi here for Mark Cutie.
Yep.
Which Mark Cutie,
I was
I don't know.
They didn't take it.
Yeah, they go for the Roger instead. I think their minds at this point is like Roger's him. I think that's like their thoughts at this point is Roger's him.
To be fair, I would have preferred, if I was on GG, I would have preferred Roger Louis. Because you gave us Arlott Louis. Yeah, they gave us Arlott Louis. And if you know MPLPH, that shit still has a 100% win rate.
Oof. Yeah, it's
So
vicious.
the better line would have been like Roger Louis if we take Fred on first pick, and then you could just set up for a good matchup for Carlos for best player third pick. They have last pick first base. So even though Ling was banned, they could have just still gotten a more comfortable
They could have
pick.
just played the Martis again or something like that. Like, because it's not like,
Exactly.
and
Or
that's where I think they make some of their mistakes is, and not having a coach behind them is like, it's not like they can't beat the Fredrin. You know, it's not like they haven't already beat the Fredrin. It's not like Fredrin is that worrisome. So yeah, the Roger Louis would have probably definitely been much more solid for them up front here.
or get Nolan second phase.
Nolan second
I would have
phase.
banned that shit too.
I think you guys throw them off with the Guinevere band here, right? Now it's like they have to, and this is where, you know, you guys having several lines prepared and several different ideas prepared kind of shows that, you know, there's a few more ideas. And once you guys throw in some things like that, for them it's like they have to think of stuff on the fly, right? They don't have like
Yeah.
they probably have they probably have ideas for this prepared, at least between the 5 of them, but it can only go so deep, right?
Yeah, I swear to God, and this is I remember drafting this game. Like we did the Angela, and we did the Ling. We're first pick. That's like a no brainer for us. And then when I saw the Matilda band, like Barat's Matilda, it's still the same line. It still follows the idea of if I throw away band here, I'd still be able to get Arnold's pick and maybe force out the Edith trade because I could have banned Edith honestly, and then they would have banned Arlet, and then I get first pick Pryor, first pick Louis, but also like I could just give up the Edith, like get Arlet first pick and remove the Guinevere because the Guinevere has been an issue for like the past 3 games.
Yeah.
So I got 2 bans that I really wanted, and I didn't care about Arlet Edith because I got one. So this was a very good prio for us. Like I got the Arlet. I don't care if that you get Edith because I got one of the 2. And then also coming into the next picks, I also get Louis. So that was essentially like a free
Yeah,
first base.
and they banned the Valentina, so it's like they really should have picked the Louis there. That was a big whiff not picking the Louis because they banned Valentina.
Yeah.
So you get the Arlot, and then you also get the Louis, and they lose their counterplay onto the they lose a good pick against Louis, the Valentina, and things like that.
Yep.
And
And
then
then what?
also the Panda, like I'm guessing Edith not too solid against Panda. Right, like it's not super solid against it. I guess they still could have picked it here, like just to have it, but they decide not to go for it again, even in first phase. They pick up the Lilia instead, which
What's their last band here? We took Harris, right? I remember we taking.
they
I
banned Chip
remember we
again.
took Harris second phase. Yeah, Chip. Honestly, they should have banned Harris. Lilia
Is the
it's a
reason
win
so
condition
is
against
the
us.
reason no Edith ban from you guys and them also not picking it? Is it just it doesn't play well into Panda?
No, because again we didn't care. If they play Edith here, we have a good roam against that. If they play Edith XP, Milo's gonna be happy because he's on a winning XP. Ardith
Yeah.
versus Edith matchup, so we didn't care about Edith at all. I was actually scared that they would have picked Tamus last pick,
Okay.
but instead they went with the Uranus, which was really bad because we had a Harith. They went with Kaja because they thought they might have thought
You
we
guys
were
pick up the Edith here.
planning Kaja. I don't know about this. Honestly, I don't know about the Kaja pick.
Yeah, Kaja picks kind of, especially because you guys have Panda. You guys have
So
like
it's a very
those-
good example of taking last pick, right?
yeah. And honestly, like that was a situation where it probably would have been better to pick Shark last, right? Just because
Yeah.
maybe you could have gone for something different, and then like because what that does is once they pick the Kaja, it's like then you feel even more comfortable on the Harith because Harith gets Purify. Like, you know, you just have.
Well, they didn't need to honestly they didn't need to take the freaking Kaja because they banned Chip, right? I specifically said they're gonna ban Harith. They didn't ban it. They opened it and they didn't take Edith. So I was like, what? What just
Yeah, it was
happened?
weird.
What
Yeah.
happened?
That was this was definitely a weird draft by them because
Yeah, they could have taken
once
the
you see
Edith,
the
like,
especially
to-
once we see the Claude ban, we think too. We're like, all right, Harith probably they're gonna hard focus into basic, leave him with nothing here. They get first pick. You guys didn't ban out the Edith and everything, so yeah, I think Edith pick up like if they just went for the Harith ban, pick up Edith up front. it's a hard response from you guys, right? Like, what do you even go for at that point?
Yeah. But even then, like if they picked up the Edith, we would have gone for Harris and Chip still. So I think at this point, GG was essentially cornered. I didn't like the Claude ban, honestly. It would have been better if they banned Chip and Harris. So we
Yeah.
were forced to play Claude. Even though Claude, Louis, Arlet is crazy late game, they would have won early game, honestly. Panda, Claude, Arlet, Louis, you have to wait for late game.
Fair. White Chicken actually did decent on this Uranus this game.
Oh yeah, it was unstoppable.
It was worrisome. Yeah, it was worrisome for a little bit. It was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I remember after this game, like the players, I heard the comms. They were like, "That fucking Uranus was annoying. It was literally impossible to play against." And I thought they were complaining. I was like, "What do you want me to do? It's last pick." No, we're just ranting.
It's like we're not gonna it's not like we're gonna first ban Uranus. Yeah, oh sorry guys.
We just want to rant how fucking unplayable it was early game. But they knew that after early game, GG had nothing late game. They had nothing against the Harris. Uranus is so bad against Harris.
And this is the game. Is this the game that Zia was useless, or that was later? No, that was later on. Maybe it was this game. I can't remember.
He was sort of useful in this game because they played mid a lot. Because they didn't have to worry about XP. They can just worry about gold and mid lane.
Yeah.
So Shark, Hoon, Zia, best player, they would always be able to play 4 in the middle lane.
Pops off this game a bit. 2-0.
Mar had a bad game early game.
3-0. So yeah, by game 4, I feel like Basic finally starts like getting in the zone a little bit.
Yeah. Also, one
rough
thing
start.
that I want to point out, Trex, and I want to make sure I say this. Best player gets a lot of shit, gets a lot of flame for like feeding in this game. It's not his fault. We have a freaking Louis.
Yeah.
And I have a Fredrin player on my side. Like they would know where best player is. Right? They would know. They would know where best player was.
And then you have like you just have a lot of answers to him. Like I personally like one of the things coming into this series, coming to the next time the BTK Fest GG, one of the things I didn't want to see GG do was like focus that make the Fredrin a prio to take away from Zane, because I felt like you guys already showed that you had an answer to it. Like I felt like it's already been shown that like with the Panda and with other picks, like they have answers to the Fredrin, so it's not like it's not really like it's not a checkmate move for them like it used to be against MOBA Zane, you know?
It's not a leftover pick. Like most people call the Akai as a leftover pick. It's good against Fred, honestly. So that's also the reason why first game, we could have just waited for like the Fredrin to show up on their side. We didn't have to prio the Fred. We could have just taken Akai third. But this happened this game. They showed Fredrin way too early, and then we just took the Akai.
You guys do great
But
this game.
early game was unplayable because of the Uranus.
Once
So
game
they
in the late
didn't have
game,
like
you guys were online.
Yeah, they didn't have a good game closer.
Basic has a clean game, 5-1-4, 6-1-4. One of Basic's best games, really, on this Harith. He plays really clean on it.
Yeah, Milo also popped out in this game. The art was amazing.
Cutie did decent in this game. Mark Cutie took a bit, and also this was a game I remember. Actually, now I remember this game really well because Mark Cutie in early game also was a little rough on the Lu Yi. Like Asa's cast, I remember saying like he needs to use that, like stop being so stingy with his diversion. And then I feel like after about halfway, and it might have just also been because the team was losing a little bit in early phase. So I was like, what am I going to do? Fucking attack somebody when we can't even kill them? But like once they started getting the groove, even though he took a lot of deaths, he still started finally making a lot of plays happen. I feel like with the diversion. I remember he even like got behind them at one point. At one of these points, he like jumped into the bush across from enemy purple. And then you guys did like a from the back attack. Like he finally started like really using it, and then things started really going in y'all's way.
Yeah, it's a very composed player. I would say he didn't choke, he didn't feel the pressure. Even though most players would feel like uncomfortable having a 0-3 start, and that's the thing that I give commendations to Mark Cutie because he played well. Like he didn't. It didn't feel like he was playing 0-3 as Louis. Still felt like he was playing the Louis, like making
Yeah.
diversions here and there, making plays still. So that's good.
All right. So now it's tied up 2-2.
Game 5. Oh no.
Game 5. Nobody's won on red side yet. I think this is the game when you guys, this is the carry game, right? Yeah, this is the carry game. Pretty sure. This is the game you guys almost win on red side.
Yeah, we
All right.
took carry.
This is the switch up.
So this is when I was still like thinking about the chip in Harris. We could have gone Harris again first phase, but uh, you know, sometimes trusting the players means more than drafting a viable comp.
So, but coming into this, the line changes a little bit. The line changes. You
Yep.
guys let the Matilda through. Thought process. We really want to get, so like, you want to get rid of the, is Gwyn pretty much now like permabanned? Are we at a point now where it's like Gwyn needs to be permabanned? It's a problem. We don't want to see it. So that has to enter the line. And that means other things have to go. And you guys decide to ban out the Ling still and let the Matilda through. Is there some risk there? What's going on in the head? It's like, was there some fight? Was there like in your mind? Was it like, is this the play we want to make? Like, how did we arrive at that?
It's essentially the same as the last game, but besides getting switched. If you recall, like they had Val, Barats, we had Gwyn, Angela, but they like the order matters because they showed Barats, Val, Arlott, and Edith is still open. So when we did the Angela Guinevere and then we saw Louis, Arlott Edith was still open, and Arlott Rome works against Matilda. It actually wins the matchup because like you win you win the trade, and you can also punish the Matilda by using the final stat. So we were comfortable enough letting the Matilda through, even though it's kind of crazy to do, but it was a risky move, honestly, from our part too. That's why we picked up the Art Edith.
Yeah.
So like you get the
a
whole
solid
idea
trade
of,
at least, yeah.
yeah, exactly. You get the whole idea of what these trades are gonna be. So we let go of the Matilda for the possibility of us getting Art and Edith.
And I also feel like, you see the Lu Yi band too. So it's like, as well, it's like, okay, we get the Arlott Edith and we don't give them too much in return here, right? Like they really don't have, like after that trade, after the Matilda for the Arlott Edith, there's nothing like detrimental, right? Because they banned out both those mages, I feel like. What do they get? What do they pick back here? They take the Fred again. They get the Roger, which you guys can still get the Harris, but you don't pick up the Harris here. You guys pick up the Akai against the Fredrin again, which the Akai also decent against the Matilda. Like you have some answers to the Matilda and you have some answers to the Fredrin here, right?
Yeah, that's why it didn't really matter for us if they got the Matilda. As long as we got the Akai against Fred, Roger, we could have gotten again Harris second phase, but we decided to we decided to trust basic because it's Akai carry. We've played that game so many times now. Like Akai carry maybe has one of our highest win rates overall because like the team is so good at late game, they just naturally win with shot calls, team fighting skill. But yeah,
you mean
again,
like BTK
going
late game.
Yeah, going through the main line, I think the Harris would have been better. But again, I gotta trust my players.
So one of my thoughts coming into this whole series was like, and me and you have kind of covered this a few times now. It's like GG definitely has like advantage in laning phase, but one of my thoughts a lot for BTK was like, slow pace beginning, and I think you guys win out a lot in late game. And is that kind of like mid to late game, like second lords, things like that? As long as the gold doesn't escape you guys too much, BTK feels pretty comfortable. Is that kind of a thought for you guys here?
Definitely, that's right. Because they have a Roger, they're gonna win early game for sure. I mean, if we had Harris, maybe we have a chance. But like looking at the Akai carry, that was a guaranteed W in late game, right? Nobody can walk up to those two. So it was definitely a risk, honestly. Like this draft was full of risky, I would say risky maneuvers. So this is where I also like coming to the finals. I knew, and I talked about this to Mirko. I knew that at some point I needed to second phase Zane. I needed to second phase Zane. This game would have been a good example of when I could second phase Zane, because we
Yeah.
still had a lot of different options for Zane second phase, but we couldn't risk it. Like we couldn't risk the Akai getting banned. That's why we picked it third. But honestly, we could have just taken the Harris third pick.
Fair. They hard ban into gold here. This time they follow up. Unlike last time, they actually do the double ban into gold lane this time, which
Yeah,
I think is
Harris and
it's
Clark.
smart of them. You guys get the Vex though, which Mark Cutie's been doing amazing on the Vex. They pick up Wide on the Thamus, which he does solid
they
here.
should have gone Thamus last game, honestly.
Yeah. He does good on it. And in the last game, it just would have helped them secure that early game even more.
Yeah, imagine Harith uses Almond Force, you stand there, hit him, vengeance.
And again, this
That's
kind of
back
just
up.
goes back to like when they put Fried Chicken and just the whole team on like that hard, level 4, level 5 spike, because Thamu's like early game just vicious. Like no one's really going 1-to-1 with him in the early game.
Yeah.
When they same thing when he had the Paquito thing, like when they build those comps, they do so well, and then whenever Fried Chicken gets some hero that can initiate, we saw it with the CC, we saw it with the last game with the Uranus, like when we see those, that's when they're kind of falling apart,
Yeah. Also, one good thing about this draft is that when we were doing the Lilia for Amis ban, we really forced the Navaria from the side of GG. Like we knew it was gonna come down to Faramis and Navaria. But it's a discussion of which do we want to play, because like for Amis they're gonna have strong as fuck early game, like Roger, Fredrin, Mathilda with Promise. That's just crazy early game. So the team didn't want to play against that, so we kind of forced the Navaria. So we were actually expecting a Navaria, because like it loses the early game against Vex and Arlet for sure. But what ended up happening was that we didn't capitalize on the early game, so that's why we still went to the late game. And the Navaria, the one thing that I told him was if we let go of the Faramis, we could deal with him in the mid to late game with like catches. But with Navaria, we'd have nothing against Navaria late game. We could win early game, but
Yeah.
with this comp that we're trying to build, carry Akai, Vex, Arlet, and Edith, we have nothing against Navaria late game. So what
Yeah.
happened was, well, the decision was split. But we still went with a Faramis ban because like it's so fucking scary to go to go against their early game. We might not even have the chance to go late. So we decided to go for the weaker early game in GG, but harder to deal late game because we have Akai and carry.
Yeah, that is and you make a good point. That's a tough call, right? Because it's true. Because even after you guys banned the Lily and the Fermis, I remember being on the desk and being like, what does Hoon even pick here? And Navaria hasn't been picked for so long in playoffs that I was like, it didn't even come to a lot of our minds. And I'm like, Hoon's like running out of picks, but that was like that's like his 5th pick essentially.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you ban that out, it's pretty much over, right? Like if like those 5 heroes get picked out, it's pretty much over for the mage. Like
Zane
Vex is gone
treatment.
too. Yeah, So we're wondering, like, now that you say it's true, it's like, so pretty much you could have gone for Novaria Lilia, he gets Faramage. You could have gone for Faramage Novaria, he gets the Lilia. And the Lilia or the Faramage would have been like, I don't know if they would have been able to deal with the early game of GG.
Nah. That was a sure loss for sure.
Yeah. And even then, you guys almost deal with the late game of them here. Like, yeah, the Navaria is a problem. Like, the only way to beat them really in late game would have been you just have to wipe everybody and leave nothing but the Navaria standing, right? Like, it has you have to be able to hit them all off guard or something like that. And what you guys almost do, but in the end, it does kind of fall short this game. But this is the game where I remember watching, and the fact that you guys, because us as cast, we were waiting for someone to finally win on red side. Like, that was like, we knew that would be the game changer, which it ended up being the game changer in game 7. Like,
Game 7, yeah.
we're like whoever wins red side first, we felt like had the series, because neither team was able to do it yet. And when I saw how you guys came so close this game to almost winning on red side, I was like, as long as you can make it to game 7, I was like, I feel like you guys could pull it off then.
Yeah, we were saying the same thing too. Like, if we win this game, it's over. Like, it's over for GG because we're gonna get better picks for the next game, and also like the momentum thing. But even though the players did good here, like all 5 players did good. Basic was really good in carry. what ended up happening was that again that unfortunate fucking retry on the Lord.
Yeah, that was. I'm gonna let's take a look at that one real quick. 'Cause I never did a deep dive into that one. Never like really looked at it. Was it this Lord? Oh, this is
No,
early
it was.
Lord. It was like
I
a
think
late game.
it was 25, right?
It was deep. It was deep in there.
This game was almost
midnight.
half an hour.
All over the place.
I remember because I had time to take a poop.
It was nice. Good to know. Good to know.
I was watching the game
breaks
in my
bro.
PC, but then
Then you had to jump on the
something.
phone and take that into the bathroom.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's like, oh shit, literally.
I had to take a dump. I think it's around 25. Yeah, that Lord.
This one. I want to look at this.
That's a long ass Lord dance. I'm proud that we can fucking Lord dance now.
Honestly,
this shit was a big problem like 2 months ago.
This shit was a problem for NA in general, and whether it's because of your influence, whether it's whatever it is, I feel like GG and BTK have stepped up their Lord play. Just, I mean, hundreds of percents, like just hundreds of percents. Like it's no longer just like, we're going to fight at this Lord right here, right now, and whoever survives gets it. You know, like, it's no longer a standoff right here. It's like there was a lot of Lord dancing throughout the series and just overall throughout playoffs and everything. Like, it's felt down the line on a lot of these Lords, which for me, as a PH fan, has been, like, as someone who's, one of the reasons I enjoy watching MPL PH is because of, like, some of the drawn-out fights. It's been nice to watch.
Yeah. The resets, you know, the constant engage.
Ooh, he checks the wrong bush there too, man. I remember this. He checks the wrong bush, so they keep position here for a minute. You guys go back. Lord still, I'm waiting for.
Yeah, look at the two junglers. I like that shit. Like when those two junglers just move around their joystick.
Yeah, look at this. There it is. The conceal play gets messed up here. And I think this is when, all right, so the pin comes in here. Pin comes in.
Yeah, see, Lord walks out.
How the hell?
That is, I think that is literally near the edge of best player's retry range.
Bro, did Zane has retry here, bro? He's stressing. You can tell. That's tough, bro.
I think they retry at the same time.
And look, best player doesn't have retry right now. So like when you're getting pinned by Panda, your retry like goes on and off, right? Like your retry goes on and off. Like you have like a half a second every second to hit your retry button. So the timing has to be so crucial on it.
Yeah. And
he just freaking pulls it off. They both clicked it at the bro, best player's retry opens up for like it's like a 0.1 second. Like, you know, he's just spamming that button.
At the same time. They retched at the same time. It was just unfortunate, you know.
Yeah, it was.
Honestly, I don't blame junglers for this happening. That's why there's a Lord dance. That's why fucking Blacklist invented Lord dancing, right? So, PH comes up with systematic ways for players not to fuck up. So I wouldn't blame this. I wouldn't put this on the junglers. It's more of like a macro shot call, you know.
One said they want to see this on 0.5 speed. Let's just see real quick. But did anyone actually click it first? I don't think so. I mean, this is 50-50 at its finest right here. Like you said, like you really like there's situations like this where you cannot blame jungle. The only thing that either team could have done better was just like position for this fight, like just not take it at this time. You know, like reset and stall it. But really, like Zane literally does everything he can.
Yeah, he's trying. Actually, he's trying because we talked about this play. He was trying to get best player out of that wall.
So BP does actually click it first. Best player one clicks it first. Mobazane technically still has his retry here, and he hits it too late.
Yeah, I can't blame him because like he's doing two things at the same time.
Yeah.
While best player, all best player had to do was mash the retry button.
Yeah.
And that's something that I always try explaining to my players. Like holding the Lord is actually more stressful than just turning, because you doing two things at the same time messes up with your capability of pressing buttons and playing the game. All the while, your enemy, all they need to do is fucking focus on one thing, the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough, especially, and that's kind of like the big difference. That's where like I think the mental pressure of Lord fights on junglers has changed since utility jungler became a thing. it is a much different fight for jungler, because not only are they worried about the retry, but they're also worried at controlling where the Lord needs to be. They're the ones who are controlling the pace. They're the ones who are like what side they need. Like there's a lot going on in a jungler's mind nowadays. Like they're the one taking the shots from the Lord. Like there's just so many different variables that a jungler has to think of in that pit. As a utility jungle, it's definitely, you got to respect it.
That's why it's a 50-50. Like, yeah, sure, it's the player's fault for not pressing the retreat at the right time, but also like team wise, it's also kind of our fault because we could just prevent it. You know, there's not every point of the game has to come down to skill. It could come down from better shot call, better engages, better ways of approaching the game. Not everything has to come down to skill.
And that's one of the reasons why I always hype up junglers like Mobazane, for example, junglers like Wise back when he was still in and stuff, like junglers who are just like great in Lord pits, man. Like maybe they're not like the most mechanically gifted assassin players or this or that, but like when it comes down to like Lord fights, like that's where I feel like Mobazane has, at least in my book, has always kind of shined. Like his Lord pit, like the way he battles it out in a pit and is able to like, you know, make those moves when they need to be done. One of his, I think, one of his shining attributes. All right, so we come to this game. You guys end up losing, but still overall a good game. Marcuti does great this game. Basic also does good this game.
Oh, this was the game where Zia couldn't really play early game, mid game, because of the way this comp.
Oh yeah. And he only finally got kills. This is why I felt like you guys had this game in the bag for late game, man. I was like, we all knew that Hoon was like the only big problem, but we were like, Zia cannot do shit this game. Basic is now scaling. Fly Chicken, his scaling's been over for the past 10 minutes, you know, like he's essentially on a downhill slope now, because that's the only downfall about the Thamus is like once you get to like 15 minutes, you're like, now you're just a punching bag.
You're vengeance. You're walking vengeance.
Yeah, you're just walking vengeance at this point. So I mean, it really was just, I think, that one moment, man. You guys kind of had this game. It's just that one moment. But again, it just shows like you guys, it's just first almost winning on red side. It shows that there's if you guys can get it to game 7, there's big possibilities.
Yeah. So game 6 was a
mentality. How do we come into this game? Because it's now match point. You know, and that was one of my that was one of my things I was talking about on the desk. I was like, whoever gets match point, it's definitely hard for the other team because you know they're at match point, you know, like there's more pressure than any game you've played yet. And I know you came into it saying that every game was a best of 1, but like, do you have to reinforce that, you know, this game?
Yeah, every game I say that it's a best of 1, even though if I don't say it, the players will say it themselves. But I think what helped was even before the finals, like the night before, we had a team huddle, right? So we were the one thing that I made sure was I made a list, sort of like a mantra for the players so that they could just list down and repeat to themselves. I told them to read it before you sleep, read it after you wake up, read it before the game. So this list actually helped them, like, provide things that they needed to say to themselves, like, let's say never give up till it's over, you know, stuff like that. I made them read that list. So, like even before coming to the finals, the team was sort of like prepared to deal with this mental stress. But what also helped was, the physical thing that we did earlier, like the shouting and stuff, me hyping them up. Like the mental fortitude coming to the finals was already very, very strong. Like they're not just gonna give up. I made them, I made them like warm up, not in game but physically. Like they did jumping jacks, high knees, stuff like that. And also, one thing that helped was when we were doing the draft, people would just repeat the things from the list, like don't give up, it's the best of 1, we can win this. You know, they would repeat the things that I made them list down. So it really helped. These players were already in a space where they're keeping themselves up.
Good, and I think that's
it's more of them actually than me when it came to game 6.
I think that's overlooked, like just like mentality, right? Like how to keep morale up, how to keep mentality up. Because when you get into this late into a series, like that's That is honestly more because, and especially a series like this where it's just going back and forth, and like the teams are pretty evenly skilled. It's more about who's going to fold mentally first, because obviously both teams are able to beat the other team, right? It's not like it's no longer just about small mistakes. It's about like whose mental is gonna fold, and that's gonna force them to make mistakes, whether it's in draft or in game, right? And I think keeping your team on a balanced scale and on the up and up is like probably one of the most important things this late in the series, right?
Yeah, it's so funny because I told him I know this is weirdest stuff. It sounds stupid, but it ended up helping us in the finals.
I like it. All right, so we come into this is game number 6.
This is game 5.
No, it just looks like game 5, but really it's game 6. They fucked up on the overlay here. I remember this. They have GG. They have the logo on the left, but you guys are on the left. They have BTK on the right, but GG's on the right. It's all messed up here.
Also, the score wasn't updated.
So we go back to Still Ling. They ban out the Matilda this time, so you don't have to worry about that. And the Arlot and the Edith are open.
Yeah, this is one of the main lines from the draft.
You get the trade here. But you go for this is actually you guys switch up this time. You go for the Roger first this time.
Yeah.
You don't go for the Edith or Arlot. And this is again like so we're kind of like breaking a little bit, but it goes back to what you said of we know this is kind of a Roger Harith affair. Now, was it you guys thinking we're gonna go Roger first? Was this a player thing? Like, hey, let's maybe throw Roger first. Like, what's mindset between switching up here?
So right before the draft started, I told him it might come down to Roger and Harith, and if it comes down to it, I'm taking Roger first. And they asked me, what do we do about Ardith and Edith? We'll deal with it after I see it. It depends on what they want to do, because like at this point, we've already established some facts. Like number one, Harith on GG is not really that effective. Like Zia on Harith is not as scary as Zia on Roger. So
Yeah,
we took the Roger, made a gamble on the Roger Harith because we already won with this. We already knew that matchup, and Basic actually felt confident with the Roger against the Harith. So we were like all in agreement that Roger was going to be first pick. So BTK, I think what they do, they did the Ardith Val. So we got the Edith. They didn't take it. Actually, GG went for the Mara approach. Like they didn't ban the Val, but they took it, which was a big risk for GG because that's like one of their least successful mage.
Yeah, I think GG at this point is having trouble deciding like who needs prio on their team, and I think this game because Hoons has been getting kind of shafted. I feel like after the Novaria and stuff, like I think this thing they were worried that something like that would happen again. So it's like, all right, we get the Arlot. We're at least we're gonna make sure we get Hoon up front here, but that means they give you guys. Do you guys pick up the Edith here? Yeah, you guys get the Edith here. So
I think so, yeah, Edith spread. I swear to God, I wanted to pick the Odette here.
Yeah.
I wanted to take the Odette here because like I see Val, I see Arlette. It's so tempting to get the Odette because once you burn the final slash, you can't fight into Odette. But yeah, we
go
went
for the Natan here, and I think this kind of validates too of you guys saying that Zia's been having trouble on the Harith, and I think this is where I think you can tell their trust in themselves, and I think their mental game is starting to fold a bit. And it's like, we're having trouble on the Harith. They got that part figured out. Let's just try the Natan, And it's like, to where you guys, even when it's all right, we know this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. Like there's not too much question, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, like Roger wins the matchup against Natan, but what ended up happening for Basic was a repeat of game number 2, wherein he's on Roger, but he gets gank gold because that's like signature GG. But even then, like going to the late game, I mean, like even though they had a stronger late game, we still had very clear win conditions. As long as we were able to get the Natan on the back line, we were gonna win. That's why we really opted to go for the Yuzong second phase. We wanted to at least have very clear conditions, even if it does go to late game.
Oh yeah.
Which didn't happen, honestly.
Pick up Yuzong, and this is and they save best player for last. A lot of us have an idea that they're going to pick up some sort of assassin here.
Yeah, we knew the Grok and the Nolan were coming up. That's why we opted to go for the Yuzong. Somebody suggested Samus. Somebody suggested Terizla for early game, but I said If we take that and lose early game, we'll just lose. The Yuzong provides a team fight till the late game.
Surprised they
So,
didn't ban the Vex here. If they ban Vex, what does Marcuti go for, right? You just pick up the
Odette.
Lilia, or you pick up the,
Odette.
or you said the Odette, yeah. The Odette, yeah.
If they picked Nolan fourth, I would have gone Odette. But the Grok pick was smart, and I told the team too. Like when I banned the Martis and Ruby, they're for sure gonna take Grok fourth. So there's no way we can Odette into here. So we'd probably have to go Vex Yuzong, and then
Yeah.
that's what ended up happening. Like Grok into a Vex and Yuzong.
So yeah, but there it is. So like, if they would have banned out the Vex and then they pick up the Grok, then you're kind of still in a sticky situation, right? Kind of in a rough spot.
With the wild charge.
Yeah. So. I think this game you guys just kind of went out and
There's a
draft
lot of
a bit.
different options like the Lilia.
Yeah.
We also have something for Mar that I can't really say.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I can say so.
Some pocket picks for MSC. We'll see.
Yeah.
As long as it hasn't been nerfed, whatever it is.
I think it won't be for a while.
Game's just overall.
This was fucked up.
GG actually pops off in the beginning with the Noland.
Yeah, this
just
was
with
fucked up.
pressure.
So before the game started, I told him whoever walks up in front of the Yuzong and the Fred dies, especially the Arlet Nolan. But what happened was they tried invading purple. They kept saying it was a bad call, but honestly, like if you rewind to that fight, Chicken was literally suiciding to the Yuzong. But they didn't go for the Arlet. That's why they lost it.
Rough.
Yeah, that was literally a suicide. When he walked up, that was literally a suicide. I would give Nolan that purple if I could just take the Arlet, go XP, cut that wave, and then walk mid as 4 people.
Yeah, they could have easily, instead of going for purple or something, went for fried chicken here.
Yeah,
instead.
and they didn't have retreat.
Oh yeah, and he's
yeah,
this was just a bad play.
I'm talking to you about. Like this still happens, even with our game. We still fuck up.
They could have backed off. They could have hard pushed EXP. They could have done something a little more that would have had impact, and they wouldn't have lost anything here because they got the turtle, so they got the shields and everything. They got a little. They have some alleviation to kind of push somewhere on the map. Purple just shouldn't have been it, right?
Yeah. So they got early game, so I knew this was gonna get fucked. I knew they were gonna snowball really hard, and I knew that it'll come down to team fights. That's why the Yuzong made sense. Like if we had Terizda or Tamus here, game's just over. At least with Yuzong, we have team fight, petrify, all that stuff. Stain.
And you guys still have tons of CC, so there's still, as long as like gold never escapes you like past the 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 mark, like you guys can still make comeback plays, with the team comp you have. 2,000 gold isn't anything. 1,000, 2,000 gold isn't anything crazy when you have petrify, you have Edith, yeah.
As long as Zia doesn't have Purify, and we still have a Yuzong with Petrify and Black Dragon form, it's still winnable. As long as the base still breathes,
As long as the base still breathes. It's winnable. As long as the base still breathes, comrade.
Dude, I swear to God, basic pulled off here. The chase, bro.
The chase, this game.
The chase.
This is one of the reasons why I got so much hate when I said that I felt like Basic should have been that Basic could have been MVP. I didn't say he should have. I just said he could have been MVP.
Yeah.
And
off of that play, right? Yeah.
Not just that play, but either way, like first 3 games, yeah, he played like kind of garbage the first 3 games. But from game 4, 5, 6, and 7, like he played really decent. His KDA was always in the plus. And like he made a lot of game-changing plays. Like a lot of people felt like it should have been Marcuti. But Mark Cutie like played solid. Like, don't get me wrong, his KDA was always good. He only had like one really bad game, which was his Lu Yi game. The Lu Yi game was a little iffy. Even though they ended up winning, the Lu Yi game was kind of like, it was a rough KDA, but he still played great. I think there was one other game his KDA was negative. But like for me, Basic just made like some Basic and Zane. Those were like the 2 players that I think made plays that changed games for me.
Oh,
and yeah, if he didn't make that play this game, there wouldn't have been a game 7.
Yeah. I mean, it's also partially GG sport, like that Grok wall charge. That was very, very big.
Yeah.
The Grok wall charge flicker that hit the bush. That was big. Even though they were still winning after that. I think that got into their heads. Like failed engages like that get into your head.
Yeah, and then you get nervous on making other engages. You second guess yourself, and
Or you try forcing so much stuff. Like that chase too on basic, they used retry and wall charge at the same time. So in terms of efficiency, that's probably the most efficient purify out of all the series.
fair.
You purify the slow and also the stun from wall charge.
Watch that real quick. This game goes pretty. I mean, it's like it's pretty always down the middle between you guys.
Yeah. This game lasted for 27 minutes, right?
Yeah, this game went a while. This was a long game. This was, all the games pretty much after the last game were, except for the like game 4, 5, and 6 were all pretty long games. Escape a little bit.
Close game. Close game.
You guys get the first 2 lords. It's one of the things that kind of keep you guys alive, and that's where Zane like pulls up a lot in the pit, man. This kind of keeps you guys breathing here a bit.
He's consistent.
Best player gets shoot off the purple buff over here. Marcuti and Milo don't let him get it, and he loses purple in his own. He tries to. Best player tries to go for purple here, but he's not able to get it.
Yeah, Mar gets it.
Yeah, Mar gets it. Remember, we were like looking at him in this bush right here, and I'm like, "Is that a purple buff around him right now? I can't see."
I swear to God, there's something with Vexana. Like if you apply the passive to a hero, or even anything, like if somebody gets the last hit with a basic attack, not a skill, Vexana gets the last hit for some reason. That happens with Lord hero kills, and also like buffs. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's game design. But basically, if you apply the passive and that unit gets killed by a basic attack, Vexana gets it.
Maybe that's why there was that one play that Marcuti got the Lord.
Yeah.
There was a few times when I think Basic got a Lord, Marcuti got a Lord, Mielo got a Lord.
Yeah, the Harith one I kind of get, but the Vexana, especially with Eternal Guard, because like the passive of Vex applies to the Eternal Guard too. So that shit's crazy. Like she's getting so much last hits, honestly, Vex. I've seen so many last hits from Vex, which are almost impossible. Like she's not there, but she's getting last hits. I don't know how.
My chicken whiffs there.
Yeah, Basic was talking to me about it after.
What, this whiff right here?
And also Zia's whiff when he ulted in and Shark blocked the entrance, he was left alone.
Oh. This is another good Lord dance right here. Milo almost goes down there. If he doesn't get away, if he goes down there, oof.
I'm surprised he lived.
Yeah. Best player gets Lord.
Yeah, that was outside retry range when he dashed out.
Get big push here. This was a close. This game actually was I remember this. So, and there's a big push here where where BTK saves it. I feel like, or was that maybe?
Yeah, that was later. That was later.
That was later.
I'd say Zane did a good job of defending. Also, they had good positioning with Basic and I think that was Chris. And also Chicken fucked up the final slash. Even though they got the targets that they wanted, it was still a fucky final slash. I'll explain later when I see it.
It was like, it wasn't even a Lord. I think it was like a big team wipe, and there was only 3 members left. It was Basic, Cole World, and what, Mobazane you said, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Final he does the flicker and final slash. Yeah, it was inside base.
Oh, that reset was godly from Shark. Holy shit.
Oh, I know. This was so disgusting, bro.
That
I was like, no.
So that's something that you'd see PH tanks do. They would pull off that shit. I've seen Ogwin do that so many times.
That's like game changing right there, you know, because like here, you got a 23 second on Zia, you got 20 seconds on Hoon. Like this is like that's saving game right there. That one wall.
Bought them time. Holy shit.
So much time. He just keeps on coming. He's like, I'm gonna do another one and do this shit again. Just watch.
Yeah, but look at Zane here.
In here, flickers in or dashes in. Basic.
Oh my god, the beautiful Lord dance. The turn.
Basic almost goes down there again here, and I love how No fear from basic. He just switches position. All right, now I'm on the Lord. Boom, boom.
Yeah, they were trying to turn.
The knock up on the best player
I've seen
there.
a
The
lot
taunt.
of I've seen a lot of people react to that, like basic not hitting Lord. That's a fucking risk if he does hit the Lord, because if they
Yeah.
don't see where best player is, he's just gonna be able to fucking sneak in and get a retry.
Yeah, it was clean. Very clean. Best player tried his best there too. He tries to come in and steal it. White chicken goes down here.
And then we fuck up here.
Yeah, this was rough.
Yeah, they thought it was game over. Like,
Well, Zia starts hitting hard, man. Zia's hitting hard by this point.
Yeah, it's a last game thing where, like, they just want to end the game, but they didn't respect it a ton.
I think they also know like clock's ticking. We're at fucking like 70K. You know, you're at 24 minutes. Like,
I think this is it. I think this is it.
No longer
Also,
like. Oh yeah, this is the
Mar
response. This is the response. When you guys almost. It almost felt like you guys were gonna lose here. It was rough.
Yeah. Look, right here. That final slash. I would say that's game losing. This one, yeah. They caught Mar, but they caught Mar and Zane. Fortunately for Mar, he already used up the ult, so like he blocked off the remaining heroes. But honestly, that final slash prevented that minion wave from coming in.
Because
so Zane was able to hold the right side, so nobody was able to hit the base. Zia was already prepping for it. They could have just waited.
Yeah, because minions attack them instead of getting in range of the base, huh?
Yeah.
Right?
They could have
So
just
yeah,
waited.
that's tough. I
If
remember
they waited,
Private was like ready to call the game. I think we were all. Private was like ready to call the game. I was like I think it was it. I can't remember. I was like because that was a rough.
Oh,
this is the big chase. This is the big chase. Everyone's on the map. Did they get vision onto him or something? So
yeah, they saw.
What's basics? Basics here. Did they see Cold World? No, so they don't have vision. No, they know basics here. That's why they know basics there because he's attacking lane. He's attacking lane.
And people showed up top too.
Yeah, so they know he is not running away that way. So they know basics over here. Then they see them both, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's time. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go." I love what you gotta give. You gotta give it up for Cold World for actually holding down here.
Yeah.
Because he just like if he doesn't sit still there for a minute, I think this could also be thrown. Like if he like early engages and tries to block.
So see that layering, they use retry, wild charge, one purified takes it away. And also that hit that basic did was the biggest thing. Like if he did not hit best player there, he would have died still. Like they would continue this chase. Like that hit proc quantum charge and also poked best player enough.
Yeah.
So he was able to run away with GDS, quantum charge. That's why he's so fucking fast.
And best player, I think best player whiffs here. He whiffs here. I think he gets scared because he dashes the wrong way. He dashes away. See?
Yeah.
He fractures away.
That's why it's so big. Like basic turning on best player is so big because now Nolan's out of the picture and Chris gets a free fucking kill onto Nolan.
If best player fractures towards basic here and like just doesn't get scared or doesn't worry, because a lot of people are saying he misclicked. I think that once he takes 70% damage, he was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna back off and let my team take this."
Yeah. He's not into it. He's not into it.
Yeah, if he goes in, I think they might catch. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Cold World just conceal, gets the kill on best player. And then Basic gets a lot of flack for fucking clearing the minion wave here. He needs the HP back, bro. And also, he's waiting for the final slash. So final slash gets used. That's when he goes back. It's perfect. It's perfect. Like this team fight was perfect from everybody. The Dragon coming in. Zane also controlling Zia, not anybody else. They were just controlling the Natan. So Zia wasn't able to do anything in this fight. He was up against Zane. Like the taunts, the CC from the Fred is so crazy.
Yeah, like I said, and if Basic dies there, it's probably over. I think because it's 26 minutes. That'd be like a 40-second death counter. No kills. Basic's hard to kill though this game, man. 8-0-7, and then what you said you picked up Dragon Spear and give him the speed boost.
Yep.
That was like the big debate this game.
And
then I think. I remember me and Wheezy, I'm looking at Wheezy during this game, and I'm like, Game 7, I'm holding out 7 fingers. And then at
And
this
we're second
point,
pick too.
yeah, and your
We're
second pick
second
too.
pick too.
Which there's the big worry, right? Like there's a big worry. It's like, all right, no one's been able to win on the red side. But again, I remember in the cast, I bring it back to, I'm like, yeah, but if there's either out of both teams, the one team that has gotten the closest to winning on red side has been BTK. So like there was definitely, and then it's game 7,
Yeah.
game 7 buff for BTK. Plus
It was so funny because like we expected to be able to win more games on second pick because we're a
Look at
better
them
second
boys.
pick team. But then
And
we keep fucking up our game on the red side.
I feel like Hoon at this point has given up. Like, and that's also where I think mentality comes in, because like you said, like you can just tell like Hoon's like, fuck, man. Like you can see it in his face right now. It's just like, damn, game 7, we were supposed to have that game. Like it's tough.
By the way, I just want to say I want those jackets. Those jackets are fire.
I have one. I have one of those
Oh
jackets.
my god, those jackets are fire, bro.
Maybe I'll bring you one if I see you, bro. If we end up going anywhere in the same place, I'll bring you
In
mine.
Riyadh, now you're going.
If I happen to go, we'll see.
Claim it.
Claim it. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, this game 7 was fun. I not gonna lie, I played around game 7.
So game 6 happens. God, my camera's been like glitchy this whole freaking time. I don't know what's going on. It might be overheating something. Game 6 happens. You guys win. We're going into game 7. Mental thoughts, man. Do you guys feel confident in game 7? Like you're off the hype of game 6. Like I'm sure it's still, best of ones, whatever. But like there's definitely momentum at this point. Like what are some of the thoughts? What are some of the comms? What are some of the ideas coming into game 7?
So I thought I was gonna come into the comms, having to reset the player, bring the posture back, because I wanted them to really focus in. But when I hopped in, they were like doing my job for me. It's like I keep hearing Milo in basic saying, "All right, guys, we got this. We just need one more game. It's a best of one. Don't think about the other games." They're so fucking nervous right now. And the beautiful part about Game 7 was that I did not talk about like mental stuff, because they know they were already feeling good. I just needed them to trust me. So when I was about to open my mouth and say, "All right, my plan is here. Do you trust me?" It didn't happen, because like the very first thing I hear, "All right, coach, what's the draft? Whatever you want to pick, we're gonna fucking shut up. Do you?"
Hell yeah.
I was like, "Yo, that's a good energy." It's like Basic said, whatever you want to pick, we trust you. We're not gonna say anything. We're just shut up. Do you?"
And I feel like that's got to be that. Like I think that's in our eyes. That's where, at least that's where my mind was. Like I'm like BTK has to feel like they kind of got, like they feel good right now, and GG is slow, and that's where like it all kind of wraps back to that idea of like by game 7 it's just mental, man. It's just like who's got the winning attitude right now, who's got the idea of like we got this. And I think GG at this point, and I said it during the cast, like during this ban, when we see them ban all 3 of these heroes, I'm like, what do I say? I say there's 3. I'm like, there's 2 options between this. Either this is their like final pocket strat, which it kind of is, or it's the panic button. And for me, it was panic button. It was like oh man, what do we do now? Panic, 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 panic. Like just ban Mobazane, like, and that's what I really think it was, man. It just kind of came into like.
I was feeling happy when I was seeing it, but also sad that it has to come down to this, because we knew this was gonna happen right before the finals. They were gonna try to pull off the Avalon, right? But in my book, like, I mean, I don't mean to be respectful, but that's not gonna work against us, because I did that shit. Like that's not gonna happen. So like them replicating the same thing that Avalon did, kind of wasted, because like we came into the finals prepared for that shit. That's why we got 2 more heroes from. So
Yeah.
even if you ban all 5, there's still 1 more, unless you take it. But there's still 1 more. You can only ban 5 heroes. You can't ban 6.
Yeah.
So when we saw this, I was like, I didn't tell to my players, but I was like, I'm gonna be fucking drafting this game around them.
Oh, yeah.
And it's good, because like every single time that I that's why they go smiling. They weren't talking draft. They were just talking about random shit. Zane was talking about some random fat guy throwing around GG shirts.
What's funny? What's funny about this too is like, there's actually like a picture of him smiling like this, And even though he's whatever he's talking about, it matches so well because it's like the same smile that he gave whenever. It's the same kind of like it almost looks like that same smile that he gave whenever Blacklist banned out 3 of his heroes, and it was like, oh shit, like this is how we're doing this, huh? Okay.
Yeah. But seriously, I swear to God, I was drafting this game. I was hearing the most random shit that I don't want to hear in the draft, like a guy shouting, some guy throwing away GG shirts. I even heard something like I can't really say, but it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's all right. You don't gotta. we'll keep this PG. We'll keep this PG. We know
so
how
fucking
BTK
funny.
comms can get.
Oh my God, it's so fucking funny. So like when they got Roger, I knew, shit. All right, this is their most serious draft. They got Zia on their Roger, but we got Harith, and we also got Val. So this is the point of the series where both teams just want to get comfortable, right? So when
Yeah.
I saw the Roger, I thought to myself, all right, Fanny might be coming up because they're getting comforts. They're not taking Louis first pick. They're not taking Arlott first pick. They're getting comfort. So I already knew that Fanny's gonna be coming out in this game.
Which I think this is I want to say I can't remember what they pick second and third here. So they do. So I was gonna say they go for the hard Edith Arlott pick, which I'm almost wondering, like, should they have just picked up the Louis here, man? Because there's that Louis Roger that we've been talking about, and this is something that they've been like kind of messing up. We've seen them do it a few times now, or twice now. This is their second time. They get the Roger, they have the option to get the Louis with it, and they don't. They go for the Edith Arlott instead. Which again, it's solid picks, but yeah, they could have gone like Arlott Louis, right, or something like that.
But I think GG. The reason why we're so focused on like the Arlott and Edith is that we know GG's willing to take those two just to be able to sync up with Shark and Point Chicken, and also the flex factor. But it's not flexed if you
pick them both,
in the same phase, right? And before this match started, like just to set the conditions, Milo was begging for a winning matchup all throughout this, right? So I know like I need to get Milo on a winning XP. So instead of like when I saw the Roger, instead of getting the Arlott and Edith, I got the Harith Val, which was already like a preset thing. Like I told the team I'm gonna pick Harith and Chip on first phase. They have nothing against it. Even if they pick Louis, I wouldn't really care. But they asked, what about the Arlott Edith? I said I'll give the Arlott Edith because giving Arlott Edith on this phase allows me to see all XP matches. So when I took the Harith and Val, I see the Arlott and Edith. I kind of expected that they would go for the Arlott and Edith. So I told Melo, there you go, Melo. Milo, you see all the XP. You're gonna have a winning matchup. So I checked that condition of giving Milo an XP, but also risk giving the Arlott and Edith GG, but all for the sake of winning the XP. Because if Milo wins XP, we're gonna have good games. I trust Milo that he'll play very good. And also these three heroes that I picked on first base, you can't fan in. Like Harith with the rework, every dash he gets the shield. It's no longer that easy to kill. Like Harith, Val has dash. Chip is so fucking unkillable early game, so they can't really fan in. So when we were heading towards the second phase, we knew that we just needed to ban Ling and we needed to ban Mardis. Cause like what's he gonna play? Roger Jungle? That's not gonna work. So when we banned Ling and we banned the Mardis, we knew that we could just take fourth pick XP, maybe Terizla. I just said maybe because like I know that it's also hard to fan into Terizla, but also it's a good matchup against both Edith and Arlott. I was surprised that they banned Carmilla because like we were practicing Carmilla a fuck ton of times.
Yeah, there was a YouTube clip of it. There was like a YouTube clip of it from it got leaked.
Yeah. So
was that a possible pick? Like was that like so after those 3 bans, were you guys thinking like okay, like Carmilla pick? Like was that if it didn't get banned?
This was the good part about the draft. Like when I picked the chip, I told the team I need to second phase. It's the only time that I second phased Zane. Because again, we were kind of prepared to pull off more junglers in the final. So I risked taking the chip because it was gonna get banned on the second. I risked taking the chip, and we knew that it'll come down to three options: the Carmilla, the Alpha, or the Balmond. So even before the second phase happened, we knew that it's gonna come into those. I was just worried about the Alpha because there's so many CCs outside of G,
Yeah.
especially with the Edith. So we were looking at the possibility of taking Carmilla or the Balmond. And what's great about those
Hold
two is
on.
that they play well
My
into
boy,
the
my
box.
boy's stressing right here. Look at my boy, G. He's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
wanted to
Keep
win.
going. Keep going.
wanted
Keep
to win.
going.
So I thought to myself, like, this is a good setup. If ever GG really want to punish Zane, they might just take Baksha on best player. But even then, the two heroes that I just mentioned, Carmilla and Balmond, it fucks up Baksha. So after taking the chip, after banning Ling and Martins, there was really no other option for GG.
Feel it, I feel it. So, one more. I gotta check one more thing. Do they pick the Lu Yi here?
No.
No, they don't.
Oh,
Which
no. They took Vex and Fanny.
which I feel like.
So there goes to this list. The web fan.
I think that fan, like, they could have, they could have gone maybe Basha Lu Yi. They could have gone like something Lu Yi and maybe had this, man.
I'd say there was no real after the
After the what?
after the first. It's like, again, even if they pick Baksha, Lu Yi, or just Balmond, like, all the things that are left for GG gets countered by the last, like Carmilla, Balmond. So whatever they
So you had confidence in the Balmond, like you had confidence with the Balmond.
I asked Zane what he wanted.
Did he say Balmond, or was he more leaning towards Alpha?
The team wanted Balmond, and this is the kind of the nice thing about the last game. Zane said, because like people were convincing him to take the Balmond, right? And especially after I made the call of second phase Zane, the only thing that Zane said at that moment, all right, I trust you guys.
Yeah.
So,
there's a point here where he's on camera. I think it's like right here where I remember seeing him, and I was like, and you can see his head do the tilt, like the classic, like, okay, like you can tell, like I remember watching him being like, they're questioning what this last pick's gonna be. Like, everyone's talking like, all right, let's do this, and Zane's like, all right.
He was confident, and I told him too, like, you can take the Alpha, but I really prefer the Balmond here. And people were convincing him to take the Balmond, and Zane was really confident in saying, "Yeah, I trust you." So they were already hovering at the Balmond.
Yeah, I mean, in all theory, and all just like theory, the Balmond does work here, right? But like against you can bully against the Fanny. The Fanny can't really invade the Balmond. Like, you're not too threatened. If you guys want to invade eventually, you have the power to do that with the fighter jungle. The Balmond can get in there and brawl with the Arlot if the Arlot wants, because once he's spinning, you're spinning, and if the Arlot dashes in on you, he's taking damage. Like, the Balmond just has answers. Same thing with even the Edith. Edith comes in, you still stay spinning, so like, and then the Roger too. Roger's not going to want to go toe-to-toe with the Balmond, so it works here, really.
And even if they try picking like the Baksha, Louis, there's nothing against the Balmond. Like, we got all the things that we wanted. I got Milo a winning XP. I gave Art and Edith just to see those two XP. We got Harith, we got Val and Mar, his best hero. And also, like, again, we were sort of like, I mean, the players didn't, but the comms were like, this is a funny story. Like, when we were doing the Terizla pick, after they picked the Terizla, I asked, all right, what was their fourth pick? They said they're still thinking. And then after some time, they're hovering over Funny. I was like, what the fuck? Because I picked 4 heroes that you can Fanny into, but it's perfectly understandable. It's not really GG's fault, because like, last game, you want to get your comfort heroes and stuff. Like, you want to be comfortable, right?
Yeah.
But like, in like just a draft comp, you really can't Fanny into this. But they really had no option. I was excited to see some Boxy, because like, if they picked Boxy here, it would have been more of a stomp. Balmond just destroys Boxy early.
Yeah. It was rough. It was. I think right when you guys picked the chip, really, it was like, I think they kind of had it, because I think Hoon said it a few times too. It was like, we didn't have anything planned for the chip. They didn't expect the chip to be picked. They didn't expect it to be a good pick against them. And then you guys, Hoon said it was like, they didn't have any answers for it. And I think this game, once the first 6 picks got locked in, like, we see the Roger and we're like, okay, GG's gets the Roger. They also get the Edith Arlot, and like the Harith and Valentina are decent, but still, like, GG looks good. But then the chip pick is just like, And they get
Yeah,
no
the only-
Lai. They have no jungle pick. Like it was a wrap.
we could have picked jungle third. They wanted to, but I said I'm gonna risk it. Take chip third because I saw Ardent Edith. There's no point in serving the chip anymore because like that should. So I risked second phase. Only time my second.
You guys come into this game just whomping, bro. Well, what
they
were
played
thoughts
perfect.
coming into this game? What were thoughts? Like, what were like final thoughts coming in? Was it more of just since it's game 7, like, all right, boys, do your thing, or was there any like exact game plan coming into this game?
I gave one specific command. I was like, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do in this game. Just sure live in the motherfucker's jungle.
Live in that motherfucker's
Like-
jungle.
Yeah, that's a rule with assassins, right? You live in their jungle, especially if you win early game.
I think
Do
it's
whatever you want early game, and then you live inside the jungle of best.
It's so good
like
that they have you saying that, because I feel like so many times we've seen like BT, like one of the problems that Zane and his team have going against best player is when he picks assassin, they don't do that, and that is like rule of thumb. Like even if you slightly mess up, which I think this game they do, like one of them dies early game because they're living in their jungle. Like who was it? Cold World gets caught off because he's going a little deep or something like that. But still, it's like, here it is. He's up here in pro buff, and he gets caught off. But, like, it doesn't matter. You get right back in there, and you fucking annoy the shit out of them. You know, like that is the mission, right? And I think sometimes BTK, like in the past, in past seasons and stuff like that, it's like they don't do that when best player picks up jungle assassin.
So, when I saw this, like even though Chris died, I was so happy because I'm seeing Shark on tilt. That flicker was so bad. That flicker was a waste. I mean, Zia would have gotten the kill either way. Shouldn't have flickered there, or maybe just let the chip go. You know, wait for the right opportunity. Because like having final stash with flicker after first turtle would be so big for GG. Because like you have a Fanny, you can just wait up for the Fanny to be able to make sure that he gets the kill on whoever he wants to go. But not having flicker for the next 2 minutes just means that they're not comfortable enough making the Arlet. That's why the first flicker was so big from Shark. That was a
Celebrating 30,000 PCU. I feel like we had more than 30,000 on this game. We ended up having 72K.
oh.
That was the
that's
ending.
That's less than last.
Yeah, less than last spring, sadly.
Definitely more than last season.
Yeah, definitely more than last season, less than last spring. But also, I don't know how much that takes into account of like restreamers and all that stuff like that too, you know? Because we had a lot more restreamers this time, I feel like across the world. Like Kid Bombo was watching.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
you're
like
right.
DJY was
Everybody
watching.
NACT, yeah.
Yeah. This year there was a lot of restreamers, so like there had to be at least 5K worth of viewers in restream, probably more, you know?
I'd say more. Everyone was hitting like 800 per first.
Right, and then you guys pull off the win here, just cleanly. Honestly, I think right around, right when you guys once you guys broke the 3,000 gold mark, I was like, oh, it's a wrap, bro. Best player was 0 and 2. I remember looking at Wheezy and just like giving the hand across my neck mark, like it's over, bro. It's over. GG's, BTK, man. Because it just, I think at this point we knew we were like best player's useless at this point. There's like nothing he can do at all.
Yeah,
even
right
in
when
like,
they picked the Fanny.
because who can he even kill? Like even in like, let's say he does end up hitting at some, like he gets his like third item locked in or something, and he can start doing some decent damage. Because sometimes Fannies will have like maybe they don't do as good in the early game, but they kind of have a snapback, like a rubber band moment. But he's got no one to kill here. Like you said, like Basic's hard to catch. He gets the dashes and the shields. Mark Cutie as well has dashes and is really hard to catch. You got to be careful for the Terrify as well. Yeah, it's tough.
It's bad against Terizla too. And
Yeah.
also like it's not just about the heals, it's also like how this comp works. Like the only thing that he'll see that he can kill, like if you're a Fanny player, you know you want to be able to target solo players, right? But the only solo guy on this lineup is the Chip. Even then, the Chip bullies the Fanny. So there was really nothing for him. I was surprised that they still went with. I was legitimately surprised.
GG's, baby. How did it feel? At what point did you feel like your team had it in the bag in this game?
Oh, when they picked the Fanny.
All the way back in the draft. All the way back in the draft.
Yeah, because like, whenever I'm doing drafts, I try my best to visualize how the game would go. And when they picked up the Fanny, because that's the reason why I know if it's a bad pick. Like if you show something, if you're hovering on something, I know it's gonna be bad because like I try visualizing how that hero plays into this, right? And when I picked the Trisda, Harriet, Chip, Val, there's no way they would Fanny. I know, like I picked these four heroes for a reason, and if they still go for that, then that's a bad pick. Because again, there's literally no way. I try my best. Like I try my best visualizing how the Fanny would play. I can't imagine a game where this Fanny like has a good game.
There's Cole World. He just sits there, bro. He's like, this is my job, bro. I just chill next to this portal.
Yeah, look,
Watch lane. Chill next to this portal because they can't. It's like they go after him. He just teleports away, bro.
Yeah, and he just looks at the opposite side.
This is when I really knew. Like it already felt like you guys had the bag, but this moment when Coral almost 1v1's best player, I'm like,
no damage.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, it's over. Yikes.
Yeah, and the thing about Fanny, especially with Chip, like if you're Chip, you just get Dreadnought, you're unkillable. Like against assassins, you're unkillable.
Oh yeah. All right,
But
so
yeah, it's a comfort pick. Can't really blame him.
do you guys get the win? How does it feel? How did it feel? Winning moment? Were you jumping up and down?
Cried.
At what point were you crying? After the win or right around here? Was it like, we
after
fucking won?
After Basic died. Remember Basic died inside the base, right? I was about to cry. I was like, oh shit, are we about to lose this game? So it's kind of like a 50% I was about to lose. And then the other 50 when Zane and Milo just went for the base. So I was ready, bro. I was ready to cry because Basic died inside the base. But then
for just
Zane
a moment, it felt like, yeah.
I thought it was gonna be over, and it was over. But for us, like we won. And the first thing that I did after they broke the base, I mean, I watched a little bit of like the final moments. I saw Basic hug Shark, Zane hug Dia. But after a while, like when they were doing the interviews, I didn't hear Milo shouted me out. I didn't hear it because I was downstairs. Because like a day before it was Mother's Day, I hugged my mother and I was like, "We're number one in NA."
Hell yeah, bro.
Those are the first words that I said. We're number one in NA.
Bet you never thought I'd say that, Ma. Filipino boy, number one in America.
All this time, she didn't knew that we were up this high. She didn't knew. And what's crazy was that we celebrated Mother's Day a day early. She knew that I was gonna be beating.
Oh, this is when Basic died, yeah.
She just didn't know how big it was. So I was awake for 36 hours, bro. From celebration to fucking NAC finals. There, I was
I know,
crying
this is when
at this
Basic
moment.
died.
I was like, are we throwing? Are we throwing? Oh, wait.
13K gold lead? Milo,
Zane?
too, plays great there. He comes in. Mobzin gets pulled
Dude,
back.
Oh my god, Milo, all the sets, all the fucking penalty zones. Oh my. Chef's kiss.
Sheesh. Look at that boy.
Yeah, I was crying at this point.
Hell yeah. That got clipped. The walk past chicken.
Yeah, dude, I swear to God, alright. So I was crying, right? And then Zane walks up the chicken, shouts at him.
That's in his face. What was that, bro? Like,
my tears retreated. I was laughing my ass off.
Poor chicken.
Yeah, and Hoon, like, oh my god, that expression. You saw that?
Yeah, I saw that. I was up there. I saw it when I was watching. I was like, fuck, bro. He's just like, fuck.
Yeah, you feel that, both teams deserve.
They did their best, man. Yeah.
It's unfortunate that only one team.
It's moments like this where, as like a neutral person, like, or just as like a caster, and like you probably, since you are a caster, I'm sure in MPLPH when like there's two great teams in grand finals, you feel it from both teams. It's like, man, like both teams really played their hearts out, And
it's hard watching that, seeing that. It's like they have dreams too, but you get to be the one to break it. It's not a good feeling. Yeah. I mean, it's a good feeling that you win, but seeing that, gives you fresh.
It's the nature of the sport, though. You know. Last year, TOB did it. You know, they took the dub. This year, BTK takes the dub. You know.
Also, by the way, did you see Milo fucking his AirPods swinging? When they won, like the final moment, his
I think so.
AirPods
Yeah,
went
yeah.
flying.
They went
I was like, that was a better fanny. Like
That's a better.
the
No.
AirPods were having, we're having fun with the cables. No, that was just a joke. That was just a joke. That's not a fucking flame to a best player. He did his best. But those AirPods were fresh, by the way. Those
know.
were like
I know.
newly bought.
Oh, I
Like
know.
a day before the
I know.
finals.
I was there
Yeah.
whenever they walked up with him, and G was like,
The sponsor bought it for us.
I know. That's what he said. He's like these are sponsored AirPods. I was like, oh shit. I was like, before you guys even won, huh? He was like, yeah.
They were so supported too. Sponsor.
Hell yeah.
So this
Hell
is
yeah,
the moment
bro.
I ran back downstairs.
So in your thoughts, I want to get your opinion. If you had, do you also agree with the NACT choice? Do you think Mobazane's MVP? Or who would be some of your submissions if you had to pick like 2 or 3 people? Or maybe who are you most proud of? Like, any thoughts like that?
I'm proud
thoughts.
of all of them. I'm proud of
Yeah.
all of them. But as a caster with no bias, I'd say Zane, Basic, or Mar.
Same basic
Because
Mar.
it's gonna come down to game effect, consistency, impact.
I like it.
Game
I like it.
presence, basically. So I'd say those 3. Mar.
I think
Zane,
consistency, Mar and Zane definitely probably most consistent.
Yeah.
And for me, that's why I think for me it's always what's one of my thoughts whenever I pick like MVP, and I was talking to my chat about this the other day. I was like, what player had plays that like made the series, like that like essentially won the series. And for me, Basic had that with like that runaway, even though like he had some rough early games. Those last 3 or 4 games for me, Basic was like pivotal. So it was tough. But yeah, Mobazane was just solid throughout all 7 games. He was solid, I feel like.
Aside from that game,
yeah,
it was
all good. Yeah, even game 6, someone said, nah, game 6, Zane defense saved it. Honestly, it was Zane defense, but also even Basic, though. Basic held to the side behind, saved his Lycan pounce to come in. And even you said it wasn't as much as like the defense. It was that mess up on the final slash. If Chicken doesn't final slash there, they probably don't defend.
Yeah. And to be fair, they could have just waited out for like a good set. They rushed it, and also you should have been coming from a different.
All right, bro, we've been grinding. Well, that was long. That was much longer than I thought. Midnight.
It was fun. It was fun breaking it down for you.
No, I appreciate it. It's nice to
7, bro.
Yeah, it's nice to have the inner thoughts, and it's something that I feel like a lot of us as like casters and just as viewers and like fans, I would be nice to get more stuff like this, like like taking coaches who win big series and like picking their brains throughout the whole out each draft, because it's something that I think a lot of us never get to hear. Did I lose Midnight? I think I lost him.
No, I'm here.
He's there. All right. Well, if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to ask before Midnight deuces or before we end stream, because it's getting late for me as well.
Past midnight there, huh?
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. now. You guys gonna try? There's rumors circulating. I think Zane may have already said there's circulating that you guys are going to try to get PH Bootcamp.
Oh yeah. We're in talks.
Hell yeah, bro. That'll be healthy. And so, does this also mean that Midnight going to MSC as coach?
Oh yeah, I confirmed that.
You've already made that choice. You're not going to stay home and cast.
I already talked to him. I told him like
Are they super supportive over it all and everything?
Yeah. They watched the finals, bro.
Hell yeah.
They called me after we won.
Nice.
They were joking too, like, "Yay, you're not gonna be casting in MSC." But the thing is, like, we had a talk even before NEC started. I told Moonton back in January that I will be coaching if ever.
Okay, so one. I guess this is, of course, this is down the line. You do. Let's say you guys do big things at MSC. You do really good at MSC. Cloud9 is really vibing with you guys, right? Like sponsorship goes through well and everything. C9's vibing with you guys. Is there possibilities of Midnight, like let's say if this was let's say C9 was like, we want to put you guys in boot camp in America, like we wanted to move everyone together. Would there ever be possibility of, Midnight flying out to NA?
I mean, there's a lot of things to consider.
If C9 ever backed it.
I mean, yeah, again, there's a lot of consider, especially with like the state of NA right now. There's not a lot of teams to scrim against.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
Even I mean, Zane already leaked it, so even C9 was open to the idea of boot camp. And by the way, C9 is one of the sponsors that we're talking to. One of them, right? Keyword is one of them. So they're really open to the idea of boot camping, especially with NA because like they're based there. But I mean, it's a good opportunity, but you also have to consider that is it worth it?
Yeah.
Training, we could do it online. Not a lot of
True.
teams are gonna be scrimming against us, especially with DK. We rarely get a few scrims. I don't know why. Some teams don't want to scrim against us, so it does boil down to like the main state, the region in general.
I guess my main question is like, would you, like, depending on like how good sponsorship is and all that stuff and how well BTK does, like, would you at some like would there ever be a point where you would just full-time coach and not cast?
I
guess that's what it really leads to. Like, would there ever be that possibility? Like, 6 months down the line, like, let's just say BTK keeps doing good things. C9, like, you're getting money pumped into the team and, like, would you, like, is coaching, like, a true passion? Like, would you, like, fully pursue it outside of casting?
I mean, that's something that I can't answer right now because currently I'm a little biased towards casting because I want to do it like for a longer time.
That's fair.
But working as a full-time coach is definitely not something that I would close my door to because like it's also like one of my biggest passions. So it is dependent on like the sponsors that we're talking to, especially C9. It's dependent on what region I'll be working with, and it's also gonna depend my current state.
Yeah.
If I feel like, all right, coaching is definitely better for me, then maybe I could.
I feel like coaching also has like a nice end game, right? Like, let's say 3 years down the line or something, even if other games or anything pop up, like eventually as a caster, we get old, things like that. The newer casters come in, the younger casters with the brighter voices and this and that or whatever. So like, but you could coach essentially you could coach into your 40s, you could coach into your 50s and still be just as sharp as, probably even better than the younger coaches, you know what I'm saying? So it's like there's good end game, and I think it's smart to have this in your resume overall, right?
It's a good venture. It's the same thing that I told Gideon, like, I wouldn't stop myself from coaching, even if I do wanted to pursue casting for a longer time. But if it opens up a new venture for me, I wouldn't say no to that. That's why I took a big risk. It's a big gamble to go to NA, coach Avalon, coach BTK, which fortunately for me has been really, really successful because like in my resume, all major teams that I went to were big W's, especially for NA. I've been in NA only for 2 seasons now. But both seasons has been really, really successful. Both second, it's been a very good opportunity.
Oh yeah,
I'm lucky. I'm getting my ass carried by these 5 players.
You got a good team. You got a good team with you. They got a good coach.
Team. Yeah, for sure. That is for sure. I got a fucking good team.
Hell yeah, man. Well, it was a pleasure having you, Midnight. Thank you so much, comrade.
So much, comrade.
Thank you, comrade. I truly wish the best to you guys. It's been awesome. It's really nice just because, me and you kind of, grew some friendship when I was in PH for M5, and I've known these players now for so long and everything. It's nice to see you guys doing well, man. I was just telling G that I'm super happy for him too, man. Like things are working out and they're looking up, man. It's awesome to see.
Good to do this with you too. Like it's a good bonding experience.
Yeah,
no more when we hit up each other in Riyadh.
We'll see. Nothing definite yet.
No more stories.
Nothing definite. 3 a.m. in the Saudi.
3 a.m. in the house. Oh my god.
All right, have a good one, man. I'm probably gonna say deuces to my chat now here in a minute. Thanks
All right.
again. I really
So
do
much.
appreciate it. Much love. Have a good day.
All right, you too. You too.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was definitely something different. Now my camera's good. Why was my camera so messed up on the other screen? Bro, was it glitchy? Was the camera glitchy to you guys the whole time, or was it just on my side? Like when I'm on this screen, and now it's good. Why is it good now, but it wasn't earlier? That's so weird. It wasn't messed up on y'all's ever. Literally on my side, like the whole time, I had him on and everything, and I was in VC and stuff. It was like like it was all glitchy. Thank God it wasn't messed up on y'all's side. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was fun. I had the idea yesterday because I really wanted to like go over these games, and I was like, how can I go over these games but make it a little bit more interesting? And I was like, so I was thinking about maybe doing it with one of the players. Maybe like Mielo was my first thought, just because he's got so much character. I was like, maybe we can get Mielo involved. And I was like, well, will he be able to sit still for an hour or so? And I was like, you know what? Me and Midnight are already pretty close. Me and him are already pretty good friends. So I was like, let me message Midnight, and he was immediately down for it. So big shout outs to Midnight. Thank you so much, man. I don't know if you're watching the stream or not. And to everyone hating on my pink hat, bro, y'all got some. To all the people hating on the pink hat, bro, y'all got some issues, bro. Pink is y'all are tripping, man. No style. If you don't have pink, if you're a man and you're either scared to put pink in your wardrobe, or you just have something against pink, you have no swag, bro. No riz. No riz. No riz is all. If you have no pink in your wardrobe, zero riz, bro. Zero riz. Zero riz. Let me tell you something. You need to put some pink in your wardrobe, and not a lot, bro. I'm not telling you to go out in a pink suit, but you got to have a tad of pink here and there, man. You are tripping, bro. This hat is freaking drippy, bro. This hat is drippy. It's got the melting pineapple on it. This hat is drippy as frick, bro. Ken, you have zero riz, bro. Don't chat, guys. Chat. Let's ask the chat. Does Ken have riz? Does Ken have riz? Oh, Ken's got some voters on his side. Ken has some voters. People like Ken. People like Ken. Honestly, I'm not big on a pink suit, but a pink undershirt, a pink tie to pop out on the shirt, yeah, it's fire, bro. Bro, I'm just kidding, bro. Ken Kaneki, bro. What do you mean? This is the #1 BTK fan, bro. #1 BTK fan right here. Don't get me wrong, pink's like it has to be like a very light pink though, like even lighter than this maybe. If you're gonna go pink suit, it has to be very like has to be very light, like a little lighter than this, like a little more pastel-y than this. Imagine being named Ken and ooh, good point, bro. Imagine being named Ken and having no pink in your wardrobe. What is the surname of Coal World? I don't know, bro. I'm not telling you that info. Def Weezy, TREX duo, and Jabai. I would love to have Weezy on the international desk. Weezy stepped up his game so much. Weezy has stepped up his play-by-play so much. Like, Weezy's, you gotta, I feel like Weezy, like, honestly, just because me and Private have been around longer, I feel like Weezy gets underrated sometimes. But honestly, Weezy's him. Weezy's him. I'm pretty sure we're only going to get one slot MSC. Who's the GOAT? What do you mean, who's the GOAT? In casting? Oh, Matt's so quiet here. I mean, like chat-wise? Quiet chat? Yeah, pretty chill chat. We're not too crazy. Teams won't be eliminated in group stage. Is that real? Are you sure? Why was Zeke not in Vegas? Because they normally don't bring out two hosts. Honestly, even listen, even in LA, the only reason there were so many casters is because Yue and Eunice like lived there, like we're close to there. Like Yue lived really close, so they didn't have to like pay for a flight or anything like that. So normally, you got to understand, normally it's always just been two casters in grand finals. Just putting me, just having me, Weezy, and Private is like they're extending budget, right? They're extending budget, so. Do they have it released yet? Have they released information on the playoffs, on the format yet? Have they released format info on MSC yet? Group stage. 16 teams will be randomly drawn into 4 groups, single round robin. All matches are best of 2. Top 2 teams from each group will advance to knockout stage. Oh yeah, it's a little different this time because it's best of 2 matches. So you only play 2 matches. So you can go 1-1? Is that how that works? I'm a little confused. So it's a point system and you can go 1-1, right? That's the big difference this time. It's best of 2s. Bottom 2 teams from each group are eliminated, though. I feel like there'll be a lot of ties. All matches are best of 5. No lower bracket. Yeah, no lower bracket. Sheesh, bro. Sheesh. When was the last time you used a format like this, bro? And there's no third place match. 2022. Zero, what's up? NA group with BTK, Echo, BTR, Echo, Team Spirit. No, I want to see Team Spirit and I want us to face Team Spirit in bracket. How does rules for moving forward work? Have they released full format yet? Like full format yet? Like, does Group A, like it is automatically first place from each group goes into each slot? It's not random, is it? So, like, first place A versus second place B, first place B versus second place C, first place C versus second place D, and so on and so forth. I'm on Wikipedia right now. Guys, I'm on Wikipedia. Sorry, I'm not sharing. It was drawn last year for playoffs, wasn't it? I don't like the fact that it's drawn. I mean, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm wondering if there's seeding for playoffs bracket or if it'll be drawn. Hopefully it won't be LaFell and Mirko drawing the playoffs again. Yeah, that'd be rough. We got wild card. 8 slots for wild card. Will they all be in Riyadh as well? Will wild card all be in Riyadh as well? That's crazy if wild card's in Riyadh. June 28th to 30th. Oh yeah, dates are up. July 3rd to 7th. And then playoffs is 10th to 14th. About 2 weeks, bro. I'm fucking ready for MSC, bro. I am ready for MSC, guys. We got BTK going to MSC. There's 2 great things about this, right? Or there's one great thing and then there's one big downfall here, right? I'm very excited and I'm also very scared. I'm very excited and I'm also very scared, right? Because it's exciting to finally have Mobazane back on the world stage. It's exciting to have a different team than TOB on the world stage. Because there's this hope that they're going to do great things. And I have faith that they're going to do great things. But there's also that one worry of, like, if they perform poorly as well, then NA is just garbage. If they perform bad, which I think we're gonna do good, man. I really hope we're gonna do good, especially with the whole boot camping and PH thing and everything. But like, if go rough, oh man, NA. It's not about. I don't think BTK is getting. I don't think BTK is getting grouped. I don't think BTK is getting grouped. I think all we gotta do is get past group. I think it's very possible. It's very possible for a like, depending on bracket too here. This is what I want. I'm gonna tell you guys what I want to see, man. I want to see us get past groups. There's also a good thing about this type of bracket, right? It feels much easier to get to to grand finals, right? All you gotta do is beat 2 teams. All you gotta do is beat 2 teams, man. Just beat 2 teams. This is what I want. I want us to get to bracket, and then I want us right here on this lower spot right here. Yo, if I foretell this right here, it would be crazy. I want us to face Team Spirit and win. I want us to face Kid Bomba and win. I want that Team Spirit game right here. Lower bracket. Or lower side. Lower seed. Boom. Right here. Come on. Give us that. Give me BTK, True Spirit right here. Boom. BTK versus True Spirit right here. Boom. You never know, bro. I'm just saying, that'd be kind of hype. I'd also take us facing them here. That'd be hype. Winning 3 games in group guarantees quarterfinals. That's fair. Fair. Midnight back in it. This is my prediction, bro. I'm calling it now. You guys face Team Spirit at some point in this bracket and you beat them. That's what I need. I think we should get a wild card slot too, but we always do talk about this in chat. I don't really want to talk about it again. I'm always like, blah, 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 blah. Hey man, maybe maybe we go to finals, bro. Maybe we get a nice bracket. Who knows? I'm saying that they could face them in first round too. They could face them in first round too. They could face them in first round too. You know what, guys? I just want to say this. You know why I like Cad Bunny? You know why I like Cad Bunny? Cad Bunny's one of our chatters, right? Cad Bunny regularly disagrees with some of the shit I say. Like right there, Cad Bunny's like, LOL, wild card. Cad Bunny regularly disagrees with some of the stuff I say, but Cad Bunny doesn't hate me. Unless Cad Bunny does hate me and just watches my stream because Cad Bunny hates me. But Cad Bunny regularly disagrees with stuff that I say, but doesn't hate me. And I think that is the perfect example of how people can be on the internet, guys. You can disagree with things that people say and not hate them. And that's what, big shout outs for Cad Bunny. Cad Bunny will regularly call me on my bullshit and be like, bro, TREX, you're fucking retarded. Cad Bunny will regularly call me dumb, but also vibes in the chat. Bro, why are you guys getting on that? Why are you guys getting on that weird stuff? Cad Bunny does think I'm wrong every time. That's real, actually. That's just what you feel, TREX. But Cad Bunny definitely hates you. I secretly hates you. All right, that's a vibe. You keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Whatever. Until we see group Ken, I'm not making any calls on who's gonna get grouped or anything. Listen, in order for TS and VT to go versus round to go against each other in a round, no, it's 4 teams. Look, both Indo and both PH teams could make it, and there's still 4 slots left over. There's still a slot for BTK. There's still a slot for Team Spirit. There's still a slot for Fireflux. And then there's a slot for whoever else wants to join. Oh, I know I said TS versus BTK in round 2. I'm saying it could definitely happen in round 1. It could be C9 versus TS like right here, right here, right here, right here. I just said it would be cool if they both beat a team and then faced here. If they both beat a team and then faced here, it'd be cool. I thought you meant from group stage to playoffs, Ken. Bro, Ari, what do you mean RSG's kind of bad, bro? I'm the RSG slander. I'm not having it, bro. I'm not having it. The RSG slander is out of control. Why Vomit Brothers? I don't know why. Who the fuck is the Vomit Brothers? That's what Ken calls the Ohio Brothers. I don't know like why. No one ain't talking about Myanmar. Yeah. Well, I mean, other than NA people, no one's really talking about NA either, I feel like. Kind of in the same boat. Myanmar had a rough M series. We had a rough M series. Myanmar had a kind of rough MPLI too, didn't they? Or a rough MSC. Myanmar had a rough year with us. Nah, no hate on no hate on TOB. We don't have any hate towards TOB or anything or GG. Ken might, but nah. We don't really. Best player's a solid dude, man. Ugh. Bro, a bunch of players went to what? A bunch of players actually went to China, huh? It was like we have Chima, a couple Malaysian players went, didn't they? Yeah, a bunch of players went to China. Swapped over. I saw something about it on my Instagram. Lhasa, like a bunch of players went. But it's all like Malaysian players and like I'm not trying to hate or anything, but it's like all not like PH or Indo players or like, you know, not PH or Indo. Like if I was gonna like I don't know, if I was gonna bring in players, I would try to get a PH or an Indo player, right? Like that would be the goal. I feel like. SRG is a hot topic right now, for real, for real. I don't know, man. Let me just say this. A team going completely undefeated in Malaysia, for me, feels no different. I wouldn't hype up a team going completely undefeated in North America either. Like, it's a, like... Until, like, I feel like both, like, Malaysia, like, until Malaysia does something that, like, proves it, like, don't get me wrong, they have it in them. They have an MPL, they have a league, but I think, like, until they do crazy in a world stage, I'm not gonna, I can't put them on a pedestal. How's the roster for casters decided? Are you going to cast MSC? Normally there's not any, like, they don't reach out to us until, like, towards the end of all the seasons. Like, probably, like, since I think MPLPH is one of the last, like, major playoffs, probably around MPLPH playoffs. So, like, end of this month, I think we'll all, like, messages will be sent out, and that's when, like, things will start to get written in stone. I think even most casters don't know if they're going right now. Do I hate Zane? The Lag Legends? No. Why would I hate Zane? Me and Zane have now been to M4, M5, multiple Vegas trips, LA. Me and Zane have now been to like 5 or 6 events, 4, 5, 6 events together, 2 being international. Have hung out together, have eaten dinner together. I've seen him drink and part and like. I don't know. I don't really understand why anyone would think me and Zane don't get along. It would be like it'd be pure like just weird if you thought that. I don't know. Me and Zane are vape buddies, bro. Whenever Zane and whenever Zane doesn't have a vape, he hits mine. Whenever I don't have a vape, I hit his. All right, guys. I think it's time to call it, boys. It's 1:39 a.m. Place tonight. Is there a big game tonight for Indonesia? I almost thought about staying up for the Indonesian games tonight. Are there any deciders happening tonight? I did quit nicotine, yes. So we weren't vape buddies this time. I actually did hit his vape once. I have hit a vape like here and there. But no, I'm not like vaping, guys. Like at the event, I hit a vape just to kind of woo. But I actually have fully quit, guys. It's pretty crazy. I'm no longer fiending for the nick, bro. I did my whole cast without even stressing about hitting a vape at all. A crazy world. Ooh, 11:40 here in Canada. What part of Canada are you from, Cardinal? You're from West Coast, like Vancouver or some shit? I ain't fiending no more. You'll be back, don't worry. Nah, bro. I'm done. Got family up in Montreal and stuff. I want to go up there. Go back up there. I haven't been up there in a while. Central? Doesn't Mirko have all the win possibilities, a video?
Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Mirror Recap, and today it's a very special episode of the Mirror Recap because we will be looking at the official simulation of what can happen in MPLID for every single scenario. And we will go through the simulation that we have right here, so come with me. So here's a simulation already created by Apip. So shout out to Apips here, the nickname and everything is here already. So if you guys want to make or edit this by yourself, you guys can go ahead. But I am here to tell you guys each and every team's possibility to make it to playoffs. What needs to happen for them to actually not make it to playoffs?
Oop, moving my camera.
All that. So we will go through all this very, very shortly. I will just reset everything to 00000. And we will give this, a clear picture, a clear visualization. Just look at the schedule.
Coach Ran is suing. I heard about all this stuff. I haven't watched anything on it, so I don't know anything about it.
We will be looking at for these particular.
I was gonna make a video on it, guys. And I'm probably still gonna make a video on it. But I have a commitment to do for the rest of this year. A commitment to myself and to the content I'm gonna be pushing out. I guess I'll say to you guys, I am going to try to completely stay out of drama for the rest of the year. I'm not going to cover any major drama on content-wise, most likely. I think I'm going to kind of stick away from it for the rest of the year. I'm not going to cover dramatic subjects. If there's like videos of a bunch of bullshit happening between stuff, I'm no longer going to cover any of it for the rest of the year. I'm going to try to like steer clear of it and steer my content a bit away from it. So I'm sorry, guys, if that's something you guys love watching. But I think if people ask me, I'm just going to like kind of stay. I'm going to try my best to stick away from it. Yeah. I'm going to try my best to stick away from it. just what I'm gonna try to do. I feel like it's I don't know, like, and even then in the past, like I've always tried to approach those situations in a pure mind, like in a good way. At least like honestly, in my heart of hearts, most of the time when I approach those situations and like I talk about something that's going on, I try to just give like my own opinion that's maybe is slightly like whatever. Like I try not to like, I don't know, but I don't think it's ever taken that way. I don't think it's ever taken that way. I think it's always taken based. I think some of you guys, like at least like my core following, they understand, but most people don't. So yeah, I'm going to try to just like stick out of it. I think like the past 12 months, we've had a lot of it. We've had a lot of moments where I've either gotten pulled out of context or this or that or whatever. So I think for the rest of this year, we're just going to kind of like steer clear. We're going to really try to like just push solid content without all of that, man. I think that's the goal. Even if my views go down, yeah. I don't think my views will go down. I think if we push solid content, and that's the thing, man. It's just draining, man. It's mentally draining. Like even if it gets a bunch more views, it's mentally draining for me. Even when I know I'm approaching it with like a pure heart and a pure mindset, and I'm just trying to give like a rounded opinion on it, it is still mentally draining. And it is not like, it's just not it's not something I want to be a part of, really. It's not something I want to do. I want to kind of have a really clean mindset for the next year. For myself and just for the channel in general, man. No matter what your words end up getting twisted, no matter what, like, because here's the thing, no matter what, when you insert, like, whenever there's heavily hot topics like that, there are always two sides. And the two sides always feel very strongly about it. Two sides always feel very strongly about it. And no matter what, when you enter something like that, you kind of have to choose which side you're on. And no matter what, people are going to be there's always going to be a group of people that are angry at you or something. So it's just kind of like, I just kind of want to like stay out of it. I want to stay kind of neutral for a bit. Like, and that has nothing to do with like teams, like for those that know me, like, you know, I have fans, and it's not even here's the thing, like a lot of situations like that, like there isn't a truth, like everyone has their own truth, you know, and that's my problem maybe. I have a mindset where I believe like everyone has a truth in a situation, like unless something is outright wrong, like, and even then, there's situations where like I believe something is outright wrong, and you know that's just it's draining, man. There are three sides to every story. There you go. But yeah, just let you guys know
which teams make it to playoffs or not. But firstly, before we get started, I do want to say Bigatron Alpha, Onic, and Geek Fam are all safe. Bigatron Alpha have already secured the first place in the regular season, even if they lose to Onic. Onic have already secured the first or second slot of upper brackets. It doesn't matter if they lose all their matches and Aura win all their matches. Doesn't matter. They are already in the upper brackets. And for Geek Fam as well, they've already secured playoffs.
So Aura's good too.
Teams, it will not change. For Bigatron and Onic especially, it will not change. But for Geek Fam, they could actually slip here and there in the standings, but they will still be 100% guaranteed in the playoffs. Teams who aren't safe is all the other teams below them. Aura, Evos, Rebellion.
So Aura, Evos, Rebellion, everyone from 4 and down is not safe.
Let's talk about the scenario for every single team, starting with 4th place. We'll start things off with Aura Fire. And for Aura, it's actually very, very simple. All they need to do is secure one match win. If they get 2 match wins, it's great. 2-0 or 2-1. The first one match is all that counts for them to make it to playoffs. But
so they don't even need an actual dub. They just need a singular match.
That can basically make Aura lose.
Not a full match, but they just wait.
Firstly,
I'm confused.
Lose both their matches in week number 9 in a 2-0 fashion. Against Geek
2-0 fashion.
2-0 lose, and against Alter Ego 2-0 lose. Then this will have to be continued by Rebellion winning both their matches and Alter Ego also winning both their matches. And it'll also have to add in the fact that Evos needs to win against Onic. That is
Okay.
a very, very specific scenario, and that's why I think, either way,
Aura's pretty much
are
good.
technically safe. They
Like
are safer than
everything
all the teams
has
because
to
all
line
these
up in the
conditions need to be
stars
met.
for Aura
If
to not make it.
Aura don't make it to playoffs. Again, I will repeat. If Aura don't make it to playoffs, this is the scenario. Aura lose both their matches in week number 9 in a 2-0 fashion. Rebellion win all their matches. Alter Ego win all their matches. And Evos win against Onyx. That is the only scenario as to how Aura doesn't make it to playoffs. So let's move on to the next team. Next up is Evo's Glory. And for Evo's Glory, it is the same as Aura Fire. All they need to do is secure 1 match victory or, obviously 2 match victories, which will guarantee them a playoff spot. Now, how do they not make it to playoffs? Well, the first scenario is if this is the best scenario if you don't want Evos to make it to playoffs.
This is the best.
RQ winning both their matches 2-0 and Evos losing both their matches 2-0. If that's the case, let's edit that real quick. This is what is going to happen. So let's say RQ win against Dewa 2-0. You know what? Let's just say if RQ just need to win both their matches. RQ win their matches against Dewa 2-1, and then RQ win against Alter Ego 2-1, and Evos lose both their matches 2-0. Then this is what it's gonna look like. Evos will be 7th place, and they will be
Not
out
make it.
of playoffs, where RQ will barely make it to playoffs with -5 over -7 Evo's Glory. But this is where it gets actually interesting, because for Evo's Glory, there's a chance of not just, obviously them not making to playoffs becoming a reality, but also there is a chance of a possible tiebreaker against RRQ.
He's saying so much, my brain is melting right now. And these are things that I do sometimes, like when we're in season. These are things that always are like interesting, like, oh, but if this happens, this happens, this happens. But I am so lost because I've not been following ID.
Head-to-head cannot determine who makes it who makes it to playoffs, because head-to-head wise they are equal. So let me just break that down for you. So if RQ, again, we won't change anything for RQ. If
Let me just break that down for you. I need a dummy version. I need a dummy version, bro.
1-1, and Evos lose both their matches.
He's going so
2-1.
fast.
This creates a possible tiebreaker situation where, again, if you guys don't know how to read the MPLID standings, you first go through the match point.
Listen, this is not nerd. Like, this is stuff that I am also really into. It's just because he's doing it with this thing where he's just like, and he's talking so fast with them. It's a little hard to keep up. Also, I haven't been following ideas all. Like, this stuff is normal. I remember, like, last season we were doing this in NACT, and Mirko Giacolero.
So at this point,
Mirko
RQ
Giacolero.
have 2 wins, right? With that scenario earlier, 7 wins, 7 wins. We go then to the next thing that we need to look at, which is the game point, which is both also at -5 due to the results we spoke of earlier.
They tie.
Now, if this is the case, if the match point and the game point cannot determine who is ahead in the standings, we go to the team head-to-head.
Head-to-head, and Evo's Glory's up.
History is basically
Right.
the head-to-head. What happened in leg 1? What happened in leg 2?
Oh, yeah, between
Fortunately,
them.
or unfortunately for RQ and Evos, in leg number 1, RQ won 2-1, and in leg number 2, Evos won 2-1. Therefore,
Oh.
they will have the same.
They have a tie head-to-head. So if this happens, they have a tied head-to-head. Evos and RQ.
Basically, 3-3 games, right? Because 2
So then it goes to what, a number, whatever their second or third tiebreaker ruling is, which most time it goes to like game win loss. You get a point up and then a point down, which here again, 18, 23, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Or no, it goes to what? What does it go? What's their final?
in both legs. So they are tied 3-3 in head-to-head, which means we might have an extra game played.
They would play an extra game.
Makes it to playoffs between RQ and Evo's.
That would be
Glory.
hype.
That is the scenario. But also, there's a different scenario for Evos to not make it to playoffs.
Do I enjoy the 15 hours? Ha! Ha! 15 hours. That's cute. 15 hours. Lol. Double that, bro. Double that, bro. 15 hours is just one leg. That's one leg, baby. Double that, bro. 15 hours. Lol.
And that scenario
15 hours will be if I go to MSC, that'll be 15 hours. It'll actually, depending. If I get a straight shot, it'll be 15 hours. If I have to go from, let's say, if I go to MSC, a lot of times, double it and give it to the next person. if I go to MSC, what'll probably happen? It'll be like I go to JFK, New York, or I go to like Philadelphia, and then I fly over. Which that alone is a 2 to 3 hour flight. JFK to Doha is 13 hours. Yeah, I'm in Florida, so I got a Florida to JFK. That's 2.5, 15 hours. Wait, what do you mean by Doha? Doha is, you're talking about Middle East? What's Doha? Bro, I've done this flight a few times. Qatar, right? Doha's Qatar. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, so when I did Qatar last time, I did when I went to M4, I did the Qatar flight. So I went from Philadelphia. So I went from here, I went from Florida to Philly. That was like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And then luckily I only had like a 30-minute layover there. Flew all the way to Qatar. I think it was a little more than 13 hours, honestly, but it was around that. Then I sat in Qatar for like 45 minutes. Luckily the M4 flight was quick there because I had not a lot of my layovers were really tight. And then I did Qatar to Singapore, which was like 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours, somewhere around that range. And then Singapore to Indonesia. That was my M4 flight. And then the way back was the same thing but reversed, except I think I stopped in Taiwan on the way out. And then Qatar, and then home. So that was actually my shortest. The first flight to M4 was shortest. I think it was like 24 hours. Flight back was actually rough because I had like a 5-hour layover in Qatar. I remember falling asleep in Qatar on my way back because I was so tired. I passed out in Qatar, and that was the weirdest. I've never slept in an airport before, and that is the shittiest, grimiest, grossest feeling. Falling asleep in an airport for like 3 or 4 hours, waking up in an airport, and just knowing you still have like 16 hours of travel left, and like just not being able to shower or anything, and just like waking up in an airport is like, ugh, bro. It's the worst, bro. Because you're like, like when you wake up at home and you're like tired and, you have that like feeling like but you're home. So like you're just home and you're able to kind of get the sleep out of your eyes. But imagine having that feeling, but you're surrounded by thousands of people and you're like, fuck, my eyes are still sleepy. I'm like, I feel like that is the worst, bro. That is the worst. So flight back sucked. When I went to Philippines, that flight kind of sucked too because we went the other way this time, and I went to West Coast. I went to LAX or something like that, and then I flew from LAX, or I went to Texas. I think I went to Texas, and then I flew from Texas to Vietnam or Taiwan or something, and then Taiwan to Indonesia. 13-hour plane ride is better than 20-hour bus ride. Yeah, probably. I don't know, but at least on bus rides you get to stop and stuff. Stretch your legs. I do pretty good on planes, though. I sleep on planes pretty easily. I don't have a problem sleeping on planes. Some people do. I conk out, man. 13-hour plane ride for me is like 3 hours because I sleep for almost all of it. I just pass out. What I do is leading up to it, especially if I know I'm going to land wherever I'm going early in the morning, which that's always the best if you land early in the morning. What I do is I get as little sleep as possible leading up to the flight. Like I'll stay up for like 48 hours. And then I just sleep through like the whole flight. And then I go to the next plane and I sleep again for another 3 or 4 hours. And then I get there and my clock is all set up perfectly to where I'm ready to be awake the whole day that I'm there. And I'm boom, I'm in there. I'm in there.
Scenario comes from what we see right here, actually. And that scenario comes from Alter Ego winning their 2 matches.
Can't be staying up late. All right, guys. TREX is out. TREX is out. Much love. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully Matt Melvin. I need to make a video of that whole breakdown, bro. Do I release the breakdowns of the draft one by one by each draft, or do I do one video of all the drafts? I think one video of all the drafts, right? Just one, right? Yeah, just one. What do I think BTK will place in MSC? I think they can get top 8. I think they can get top 8. I think it's possible. Top 4 maybe. Why'd you say rip MLBB daily clips? Did something happen to him? Oh, that's sad. I feel like he actually did have decent clips too. Oh yeah, he hasn't clipped in 9 months, bro. Wonder what happened. All right, guys, I'm out. Much love. See you later. Deuces.